Like how avocados have really grown on me, even though I used to freak out when she gave them to me as a kid. Sorry, Mom. I tell my mom everything, even though she's been gone for 3 years. I visit her grave every week, and I never run out of things to talk about. Love can live on.
And it only took me about 35-40 minutes to get online.
Visit MountPleasantGroup.com. 6 News Time, 4:18. Roger Stone, a longtime friend of U.S. President Trump, has been found guilty at his trial in federal court in Washington. Here's ABC's Aaron Katersky.
The jury convicted Roger Stone of all 7 federal charges he faced, including obstruction, making false statements, and witness tampering. Stone, a self-described dirty trickster, had been accused of being between the Trump campaign and WikiLeaks during the 2016 election. His relationship with the president goes back decades, and his trial put a spotlight on the campaign's eagerness to obtain information about hacked Democratic emails damaging to Hillary Clinton.
That is ABC's Aaron Katersky. A judge says Stone can remain free pending his sentencing in February. The 67-year-old could face up to 20 years. Good luck, last night on the football field, Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett has been suspended for the remainder of the season and the playoffs without pay following last night's brawl with the Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph. That makes it one of the longest suspensions in NFL history. Garrett ripped off Rudolph's helmet, hit him in the head with it in the dying seconds of the game, sparking a fight that saw both sidelines clear. Here's Browns head coach Fred Kitchens.
I spoke with Myles this morning. He understands the magnitude of what occurred last night. He's very remorseful. He's sorry for his actions. He understands that he let himself down. He let his teammates down. He let his organization down.
Both teams have been fined $250,000. In 60 seconds, traffic and weather together. 6 News Time, 4:20.
Jesus, worse I got to fucking face is maybe 6 months, in jail or maybe a year of probation or something.
It looks really heavy.
Well, it's a small pizza.
Could you please?
All right.
So we missed the business report and the top of the hour and all this shit, but whatever, I'm online.
To be proud of your renos. Until Wednesday at Rona, save 20% on bathroom furniture.
1, 2, 3. This is number 4. I think this is 4th or 5th cigarette trying to get this shit running.
We'll match it and take off 10%. Conditions apply.
I don't know what the issue is. YouTube, Android, Chrome, and fucking Google should work together, shouldn't they? Oh, my hair don't look right.
The California shutters were actually designed to block the sun. Now at Alexanian, you'll find incredible savings on California shutters. Plus,
I'm not to smoke 2 joints. The first one to get me going, and the second one to fucking get us halfway when we're halfway through, right?
California shutters are easy to maintain and provide excellent privacy. Visit Alexanian.com for the location.
I'm not sure what the temperature is going to be. I was just listening. I forgot. I was paying attention. You're about to tell us. Extreme cold weather alert today, eh?
By Martin Daniel Interiors of the Toronto-bound QEW approaching Centennial Parkway. We have emergency construction taking place in the 2 left lanes. It's heavy going from approaching Fruitland and eastbound QE Gardner. Just busy as a result from Walkers to east of 3rd, from Winston Churchill to Dixie. We have delays from the Humber Bridge now to east of Dufferin, and for that construction from York to the DVP where you're down to 2 lanes only. We also have delays heading out of downtown on the westbound Gardner from the DVP to west of Strong, Parkside to the 427, and heads up westbound QEW at Dixie. A piece of the left lane is blocked because of a collision, so that's a slow go westbound QEW from the 427 to west of your Ontario, 4 drive to Trafalgar, and from Bronte to the 403 ramp. It's also heavy northbound 427 approaching Bloor the Express to Burnhamthorpe from the 409 to Finch. You'll find it slow on the eastbound 401 through James Snow from Mississauga Road to Mavis. It's heavy going from the 410 in the collectors, from Dixie in the Express across to the 400. Then it's slow going approaching Kiel to Victoria Park Express to Kennedy in the collectors, and in the Durham region delays from Brock Road to approaching Stevenson. Westbound 401 is heavy McCowan alternately Express and collectors to Dixon, approaching here Ontario to west of Highway 25. So quite a long and slow route as you head out towards the Milton area. Northbound Don Valley 404 is slow approaching Bloor to the 401, approaching Seals to Major Mackenzie. Buy more and save more during the inventory sale at Martin Daniel Interiors. Save 25 to 70% on the finest European furniture and accessories. Visit martindaniel.com. Your next report is at 4:31. And now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Mostly cloudy at Pearson, 3 degrees. The winds are
quite as gusty as they have been through the rest of this afternoon. And we've got the chance of some flurries through the evening, but overall it's a dry day. It's just very cold. Bitter wind chills overnight tonight, feeling like minus 18. So such a cold start to this weekend. Highs tomorrow only near minus 3. The average high is plus 7. There's a slight chance of flurries through the day tomorrow. For the parade on Sunday, sun and cloud, highs near 2 degrees. So a little better than Saturday. You still need to bundle up. Overnight tonight, a low of minus 11.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, a 33-year-old Toronto man out on bail after being charged in connection with vandalism on the cenotaph at Old City Hall. Thomas Zog claims he was triggered. And we'll tell you why straight ahead.
680 News Time 423.
Don Cherry's fired. I don't think that's the right story. I think
Yes,
there's
sir.
something wrong there.
I want to lose weight. So I told my buddies I'm going to switch from beer to white wine, and they did not approve. You will?
We only approve homeowners for loans, for renovations, consolidating debt, that type of thing.
Perchance a rosé.
Oh, listen to your buddies, my friend.
At Alpine Credits, we try to approve all home equity loan
Really,
applications,
Jesus,
regardless of your
looks
credit,
that
age, or
way.
income. Find out more at alpinecredits.ca. Alpine Credits, homeowners get approved. Fiscal license
We
12616.
need to get this in.
Hi, my name is Kevin Farr, member of Socks for Souls,
and
and I am the 680 News Community Hero for November.
What?
This charity is important to me because it allows a small group of individuals to give back to people that live on the street. But in addition to that, they support more than 178 other charities which wouldn't receive clothing. So it's quite critical to helping people that need
this
clothing.
is too. I'll roll a smaller pile
Community
first.
Hero. Nominate your hero
Bigger
now
pile
at
second.
680news.com/contests. The Sports the News brought to you by Daryl Hayashi. Ready, set, weekend. Colin Robertson taking a look at what's happening in the GTA.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that it's 8:25? Precisely. Damn, I'm late for school.
The Cinesphere is showing Back to the Future Part 2. The film rolls
Die
at
Hard.
7:30.
Oh no, I'm thinking of
Creed's Coffee Bar on DuPont is hosting Raw Storytelling.
Good night, room. Good night,
Where the fuck is that?
moon. Good
This
night,
is DuPont. Where the fuck is that?
shopping over the moon.
DuPont is
Tickets are
what?
$10. And it's
gotta be by the
Friday Night
Annex.
Live at the ROM. It runs from 7 to 11:30. Colin Robertson, 680 News.
Coming up in 60 seconds, major milestones for the TSX and the Dow.
680 News Time 425.
You keep saying major.
I'm
Like,
Daryl
oh, it's up 10
Hayashi,
points.
a former tax
I get it.
auditor.
It's up.
Over the
Every
past
day
20
for a
years,
week, it
I've
sounds
dealt
big,
with
but
thousands of
up
Revenue
10
Canada
points is not
auditors,
huge, yeah?
appeals, and collection officers.
They keep saying
Let me use
2-day
this
winning
experience
streak,
to
2-day
assist you in
losing
dealing
streak.
with your
That's not a
corporate or
streak.
personal tax problems. I understand that this can be
You
a
do the same
difficult
thing with
time
the
for you,
sports.
but we can work on it together. Call me at 416-751-TAX7. That's 416-751-TAX7. Or email me at taxaudit@rogers.com.
Julie? Hi, I'm Max.
Are you the pizza guy?
Me? No, I'm a professional dream coach. Say, how would your Friday night change if you won Friday's Lotto Max jackpot of an estimated $25 million?
I plan
You
on
don't
a
get paid till
getaway.
Monday to lose, so I don't see how that would help you at all.
Getaway. I'll travel the world learning dances like the samba, the can-can, oh, even break dancing.
Yes, the world is your dance floor. Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $25 million. Across Tuesdays and Fridays, you can dream to the max.
News Time 426.
Now, 680 Business Report. Here's Carl.
Oh, we got the business report. It's been half an hour since I fucking started this shit, right?
Today we got record closing highs for all four
More.
benchmarks, and the TSX and Dow actually finishing in new territory. So for the TSX, it finished above the 17,000 mark for the first time ever, locking an 11-day rally today. TSX rose by 56 points to 17,028. States of the Dow breaching the 28,000 mark of 222 points, 28,004. S&P added 23 points, 3,120.
Toronto when I hate
61 to
you. I live
8,540.
this close
And
to
today,
the
investors
States,
are upbeat on
dude.
some more U.S.-China trade
from
optimism.
Toronto
White House
when I
economic
hate
advisor
you.
Larry
Fuck.
Kudlow stating both sides are apparently nearing a deal, but U.S. President Donald Trump is not ready to sign off just yet. We also got a rebound for U.S. retail sales, which showed growth in October. Eyes are on Twitter today as it announced some exceptions to its recent ban on all political advertising. The social media company says it's going to allow cause-based ads for some economic, environmental, or social issues, but there are conditions. If you're
Climate
looking to promote
change and
climate change, for example, you
LGBTQ. What the
can't
fuck's
link
the
to a
Q? That's not a
political
fucking
candidate's landing page,
orientation.
promote the
It's
ad
a
on behalf of
question.
a candidate or mention a particular piece of legislation. And these ads will not be able to target people using specific identifiers, and that would include an email address or a zip code. Twitter at the close up 1.2%
What the fuck's the point?
$29.25. Here at home, we have an all-time high for Air Canada today, soaring to $49.83. Today, it came as Canada's largest airline launched a next-gen Air Canada app. In a statement, the airline says this new app is focused on the customer, featuring a new layout supported by the latest technologies, looking to deliver faster and more reliable performance. Air Canada at the close on day up a 0.1% to $49.36. Oil rose 1.7%, closing at $57.72 a barrel. Did see a weekly gain, and the same can be said for gold, but it did finish the day lower as the first time in 3 days.
Why is this picture still on? I don't know who the fuck this girl is. Why are you on my phone?
As for the loonie, it rose by 0.13%,
Where the fuck is 793,
US. At Business Center, I'm Carl Garnash.
You want better options, lower payments, financial freedom. At Rate Shop Mortgages, you've inspired us to do more than the banks. Instant approvals for home equity loans of up to $400,000. Lower monthly payments despite income, age, or credit. You've inspired us. Now let us inspire you. Save on your home equity loans starting at 5.99%. Apply at rateshop.ca. Plus this 12733. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's 4 holiday carolers working in unison to demonstrate Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Nice. Now here's what that sounds like if it wasn't full-time. Again, full-time all-wheel drive. Not full-time all-wheel drive. And in a Canadian winter, that doesn't sound right. Visit your Subaru dealer for a $500 holiday bonus at the My Subaru Gave to Me.
The other phone's charging. It's fucking dead. It is 7 hours of it, is it? But that's non-stop browsing.
MBA in Toronto. Earn your MBA from Queen's Smith School of Business right here in Toronto. Find out more at smithmbaintoronto.com. Boston clears skies 11, New York City clear and a high of 12, Vegas clouds 16, Halifax showers and a high of 10, Edmonton showers 6, Vancouver showers.
Let's get 10 degrees in Halifax, motherfuckers, man. Why am I this far fucking west? Damn it.
6 News Time 4:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are James Monroe and Laura Carney. Good afternoon. This is Friday, November 15th.
Here's what's making news right now.
Police have charged a man after the vandalism at the old City Hall Cenotaph.
They hear the "you people" phrase and they get their backup.
In an online video, the suspect links his frustration.
That's my hashtag. Hashtag you people.
One person at Toronto City Hall to coordinate every aspect of construction around Yonge and Eglinton.
Evangeline LaRosa was fatally struck by a cement truck driver while crossing the road.
The woman who tossed a chair off a Toronto high-rise balcony, sparking public outrage.
It was a plastic chair.
The Crown is asking for jail time, but the defense thinks that's excessive.
Tonight, the Boston
It's a plastic chair. They can't hit the highway. They're saying she threw it next to a highway. They're not telling you it's so far. It's physically hit the highway. It's plastic,
the handling of
motherfucker.
the multi-billion-dollar Pentagon contract to Microsoft. Record closing highs for markets. Dow rose 222 points. TSX higher by 56. Business at 56. 6 News Time 4:31.
Time for
It's about 222 points a
on
month.
the ones brought to you by Mark's Airport and Chopper 680. Good Friday afternoon, Kyle Hockey.
Oh, yes, finally it is Friday. Good afternoon, Lauren James. We have a lot of volume if you're trying to get home for this Friday afternoon. 401 staying.
You idiots used to have a fucking plane, man. Why are you having this dude on a live feed in a helicopter? You are fucking retarded,
South of the airport of the Express, over to the 400, then another break, and then busy again. Approaching Kiel, the Victoria Park Express, and the Kennedy Collectors. More volume in the Durham region, approaching Westing to approaching Stevenson. West 401, slow McCowan, alternately expressing Collectors to Dixon, pretty heavy. And then we've got another slow spot approaching through Ontario, express Collectors, all the way to west of Highway 25. Just right this very minute, flying over St. Clair, west of Dufferin, all lanes have reopened after water main repairs. From the 680 Traffic Center, Christine Langos.
Northbound Valley 404 is heavy from north of Bayview Bloor to the 401. We have delays approaching Steeles to north of 16th Avenue. And heading out of downtown westbound Gardner Queen Eve, typical volume delays on the westbound QEW at Dixie. Problems have cleared. Westbound Lakeshore approaching the Don Valley Parkway, there's a crash in the left lane. At Mark's this Friday and Saturday, save up to 70% off the regular price store-wide. Excludes the purchase of gift cards. Door crash or prices is marked. Visit Mark's this weekend. Your next report is at 4:41. Now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Oh, another cold and below seasonal day. That snow is sticking around the GTA. It was dry for the most part, but we could see a few flurries kind of pass through for the rest of this afternoon and through the early evening. And then overnight we're clear, and it's all about the cold. We're 3 degrees right now at Pearson, but overnight tonight it's going to feel like minus 18. Downtown partly cloudy at the moment, and 4 degrees. Your overnight low minus 11.
6 City News Time, 4:33.
A 33-year-old Toronto man is out on bail after being charged with vandalizing a monument to the city's war dead at Old City Hall. He says he was motivated to do it because of the firing of Don Cherry.
6 City's Stuart McGinn joins us with more of what he had to say.
33-year-old Thomas Christian Zog is facing 2 counts of
See,
mischief
Mr.
in
Cherry,
relation
you
to
say
spray
stupid
painting
things and
words
stupider shit happens.
with us, discovered on the cenotaph at Old City Hall this week. And today, we're learning more about the man's apparent agenda. In a statement and 2 videos posted to his Facebook page, Zog focuses on his frustration towards the firing of Don Cherry.
A lot of people have misconstrued what Don Cherry was trying to say because they don't seem to understand English.
Zog says people took Cherry's words out of context, adding in a written statement, quote, hypersensitive adult children are ruining our society, and that's why I spray painted the cenotaph. The 33-year-old appeared in court for a bail hearing today. He said he wants to represent himself. He was released on $750 bail and is required to be assessed by a doctor. I'm Stuart McGinn.
680 News Time, 4:34. Condo development sites can be a nuisance for drivers, but they can also be dangerous for pedestrians. Today, the city says it'll launch a pilot project at Yonge and Eglinton meant to help keep things moving and make the roads safer. 680's Mark Douglas joins us with more.
One person at City Hall will coordinate almost every aspect of every construction project around Yonge and Eglinton. That includes the coming and going of heavy trucks. The idea behind this one-year project is to make things safer, mainly for pedestrians. Mayor John Tory says he'll be the first to admit sometimes politicians and public servants have to learn from tragedy.
Just 2 months ago, 54-year-old Evangeline LaRosa was fatally struck by a cement truck driver while crossing the road not too far from here.
People here.
That's 2 people hit by cement trucks.
Construction hub coordination pilot, but there is some skepticism.
Yes, the need is there, but there's just so much construction going on. My first thought is, how will they pull that off?
The pilot project begins December 2nd at Yonge and Eglinton. I'm Mark Douglas.
6 City News Time, 4:35. It was a video that went viral internationally. Now the woman who threw a chair off a downtown Toronto high-rise balcony has pleaded guilty to mischief, endangering the public. 6 City's Mo Qureshi has more from the Old City Hall courthouse.
At her first court appearance earlier this year, Marcella Zoya could be seen smiling, seemingly enjoying the attention. Now she's standing in front of a judge pleading guilty to mischief endangering life, something her lawyer Gregory Leslie insists shows she's changed.
I think that this is the first step. This was a necessary step, her guilty plea, and this does show that she is remorseful for her actions.
Zoya didn't have anything to say as she left the courthouse with a group of friends hopping into a waiting white SUV. The Crown is asking for her to spend some time in prison, but Leslie says the very idea is giving his client anxiety.
I think that's excessive, very much so. We have to remember Marcella's 19 years of age. When you deal with somebody so young, in my opinion, they're not fully developed.
At Old City Hall, I'm Mo Qureshi.
680 News Time, 4:36. It's case closed for the man who made a crude comment on live TV against the wife of NBA superstar Steph Curry during the Raptors championship run. 680 Charlene Close tells us the mischief charge has
What are you
been
going to do?
dropped.
Sue me?
Tristan
Charge me?
Morgan made
The fuck? I don't know who this
comments about
bitch is.
Ayesha Curry, the wife of Golden State basketball star Steph Curry.
Such a star, I don't know who the fuck you are, right?
During a live TV broadcast, Workington was being interviewed by a CP24 reporter June 2nd outside Scotiabank Arena, right after the Raptors lost Game 2 of the NBA Finals against Golden State. Workington, who has undergone counseling for sexual harassment, has agreed to a bond not to associate with Ayesha Curry or the reporter to whom he made the comments. His lawyer says Workington is also remorseful. I'm Charlene Close.
6 City News Time, 4:37. For the second time this week, the city is under an extreme cold alert. It triggers the opening of the city's warming centers. Overnight wind chill values make it feel like minus 18. Temperatures are expected to warm up to 0 with sunny skies in time for the Santa Claus parade on Sunday.
Sidewalk Labs has released its updated waterfront development plan for the Portlands as it tries to alleviate some of the privacy concerns around the project. The nearly 500-page digital
see the highway overpass next to it.
sister company outlines several innovations, including weather-responsive heated pavement and pedestrian detectors at crosswalks. It also confirms Waterfront Toronto will take the lead on the data the neighborhood will collect. Sidewalk Labs had previously proposed the establishment of a new agency to manage data from the project.
The Prime Minister is not getting love from the Greens when it comes to the upcoming throne speech, which will kickstart the new minority parliament on December 5th.
With 3 seats, the Greens don't hold the balance of power, but Elizabeth May says that won't stop them from opposing the Trudeau government's throne speech unless there are stricter targets for emission reductions.
Moral question. An imperative of our generation not to steal our children's future. I will not vote confidence in any government that is committed to continue to steal our children's future right in front of them.
May is happy the Liberals are promising net zero emissions by 2050, but says it doesn't go far enough.
That doesn't mean anything in Canada. That doesn't mean anything in Canada. We got all the fucking trees. It means nothing.
May says her party can support actions on pharmacare and Indigenous rights. May is no longer the leader of the Greens, but she will be heading the party in the House of Commons. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Coming up at 4:41, traffic and weather together on the ones.
680 News Time, 4:39.
If you've been waiting for the right time to buy new furniture.
No. That's all I can take of that. Remember, I was listening to that for 40 minutes before I turned this shit on. I'll read what I was just reading out loud. Some of this shit blows my fucking mind, though. Get out of the fucking way. Unbelievable. It's full of dollars. I know, I grew up on everything, man. Fucking... We used to listen to Edge 102.1, but it used to be a good station. I can't stand it now. These weirdos with tight pants, fucking talking weirdo shit. Like, I can't understand it. It don't sound like rock music no more. It don't sound, I don't know what the fuck it is. It shouldn't be on that station. You should have fucking just made a new station or just renamed the station or something like Dull Edge, Blunted Edge or something. And be blunted to fucking even tolerate that. Once you get high, you can't listen to that shit. You gotta be on fucking heroin to listen to that fucking station now. I'm ranting, but it's my video, so I'm going to. I did that just right. I got just enough in me to listen to that. See, it's such a thing as wasting weed. There would have been no... I could have smoked that whole thing just now and ruined my fucking buzz listening to that. So... let me see. I'll read what I just read, man, but that's some fucked up shit. So I thought they said that 2 kids were injured in this shooting. Now they're saying they're 2 killed. And the kid shot himself. 45 caliber too. They used the term point blank range. Fucking, if you put a 45, the design specification for a 45 automatic Colt pistol ACP cartridge was to kill a horse with 1 shot, supposedly. This is 100 fucking years ago. The 9x19 Parabellum and the 45 caliber ACP are like the 2 most reliable semi-automatic rounds because they've been around so fucking long. But what do I know? I don't know. You shoot whatever you want. That'd be a good way to get some fucking activity on this chat. Let's start talking guns and trucks. What do you mean Chevy's better than Ford? I got a Dodge. I was going to wait to smoke this. I'm smoking it now. I'm getting my buzz back up and a little higher than I was. Fuck that shit. I still got coffee too, thank God. I do more videos without weed than I do without coffee, I think. I'm looking at the time like it fucking matters. I'm not turning that shit back on. No. It's not happening. Put it on the fucking classical station before I do that. Oh, shit, it's too big to fit in the fucking ashtray. There we go, that's perfect. I'm afraid to use my fucking ashtray. Glad I have a fascination with glass, and it always fucking cuts me. So take a good look at it, because I guarantee, now that I fucking took a picture of it, I guarantee this thing's gonna end up somewhere lodged in my fucking body. I think I might still have the scar. I know it sounds weird to say this, might still have the scar, but my scars disappear. It takes about like, it used to take, I would estimate 5 to 10 years. My scars fucking disappeared, man. I've only got like one scar I could think of that didn't disappear. But I did have a fucking nice one right there. That was it. Oh, I just saw it. Damn it. Skiing, big deal. You're gonna make me count out every little fucking silver piece here. This is, man. I've dropped this. I keep dropping this coin, and I keep finding it. I keep seeing it on the floor, thinking I found another one. It's a fucking U.S. dime, is all it is. 1985 Pease, Philadelphia, right? Man. I keep seeing, another one. Then I check my pockets. It's the same damn one. I don't know how the fuck I'm doing that. Where the fuck did it go? I just saw it, man. What's that? Another. Didn't I throw that aside? No, I didn't. There it is, motherfucker. Yeah, the last. What is this? Let me get this in there. Which is supposed to be for the church, unless I get really fucking broke. This one, so a Canadian dime is supposed to weigh 2.4 grams. 2001 is a little different on the back. You can look it up yourself. It says Year of Volunteers, Année de Bénévolat. It only weighs 1.75 grams. You can't use it in a payphone. These fucking things have been irritating me for 18 years, man. Click, ding, click, ding, click, 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 click. Damn it, what the fuck? Fuck. I finally figured out why. I think I'm stupid. It took this long. I'm supposed to be setting these ones aside. Why am I putting money in the payphone? I'll make a fucking chop, stupid. I'm supposed to be giving these ones to the church, right? So I'm supposed to set these ones aside. But I haven't been doing it for the last 18 years. But I think those coins, all the ones I see that say that they're in, I don't think I'm the only person that had this thought, because they're all in really good condition. They're not smashed up. I had a dime with the fucking plating tore off it. just had a fucking stupid thought. I think God made those coins lighter so the church could carry more of them on the way to go get the bread and wine, right? For the poor people. Or fish. Sorry. This is where my head is at. Fish and bread and some wine. Why not? Oh, fuck. I gotta move those before I use it. I don't have to. Oh, yeah, that's fucked up. I don't want to read that one. 2 students killed in California school attack. Well, you can look that up yourself. I'm sure you heard the story already. Parents help to describe victims' helpless feeling. When I read this last part, you'll understand why. I'm going to read the whole thing. The last part is the part I have a serious issue with. Sentencing begins for teens convicted in St. Michael's College school sex assaults. I can't hold my hits and talk at the same time. And we're going to switch this up. Make that a little straighter. A former courts bureau. You have a courts bureau for real? Is there an actual office with it? I don't want to know. A former St. Michael's College school student who was sexually assaulted by his schoolmates last fall could not bring himself to write his own victim impact statement because he is unable to relive what happened. Instead, his parents submitted a statement read in court by Crown Prosecutor Aaron McNamara Thursday afternoon on the first day of sentencing for 3 former St. Michael's students who pled guilty to sexually assaulting the victim with a weapon. The parents described feeling, quote, helpless and fearing their son will be affected by this for the rest of his life. This was not, quote, this was not just some minor hazing incident, they said. Their son feels he carries a stigma and they have to carry this burden alone as they try to move forward, they said. The other victim chose not to submit a victim impact statement. I think the victim impact statement is stupid. I really do. Like, you've been victimized. That should be inherent. Like, we know that's why you have come to court, is it not? That's why you petition the court to handle the issue, right? No? Like, what the fuck? I have to pay victim fine surcharges for possessing marijuana. I don't know who the victim is. I'm the one losing my weed and my money, and fucking I have to pay a fee on top of that. That money doesn't go to victims. It's just called the victim fine surcharge. It doesn't go to victims. And the fucking compensation fund for the there's a Victims of Crime Compensation Fund. On-duty police officers apply and claim to be traumatized just by taking people's statements of crimes they're reporting. And they get thousands of dollars when the people themselves, the victims, don't even apply for that money. I know someone that got $4,000 because they got their face smashed the fuck up by stuff. I don't want to tell the whole story, but it wasn't like a random person smashed somebody to fuck up a boxer and robbed him of cigarettes. I don't know what was going on in this boxer's head, but I think he got hit in the head too many times himself. Right? The Crown is seeking jail time for the 3 youths who have pled guilty to sexual assault with a weapon and assault with a weapon in connection with 2 separate incidents involving 2 different victims. One of the teens also pled guilty to making child pornography for filming the sexual assault on a cell phone. For 2 of the teens, the Crown asked for a sentence of 12 to 15 months in custody, followed by 18 months probation, and for one, 10 to 12 months in jail, followed by 18 months of probation. Defense lawyers are seeking a sentence of 24 months of probation for all 3 teens. An agreed statement of facts has described 2 sexual assaults and an assault involving a group of teens using a broomstick in a locker room at the school during the fall of 2018. The Crown said it could not be proven which teen Yeah, this part's a little fucked up too. The Crown said it could not be proven which teen wielded the broomstick in one of the sexual assaults, which is why the 3 youths pled guilty to assault with a weapon in connection with that incident. It should be sexual assault. They shouldn't have been allowed to plead to that lesser charge. Like, that makes no sense to me. Because it's conspiracy. You're just as guilty. If you have 3 people, whatever the fucking... Someone else can look up all the fucking technicalities. If you're all doing a crime for they call it gang-related, organized crime, gang-related. If you're doing a crime for the benefit of the group type shit, you're all guilty. Like, so I don't understand why they don't get that word sexual assault. They get a special sex offender thing on their fucking CPK. And even though their records are sealed, they're not destroyed. They go to the Solicitor General's office. If they get at any time, the Crown Attorney in a case can apply to have the record reintroduced. And if the cases are similar, they'll bring it back up. If these guys ever get charged with this, that's why it should say sexual assault. If they get charged with this shit as adults, they can bring in their youth record. Say, no, the law. I don't like the way it's applied. No pleas were entered in connection with the non-sexual assault. They're calling it non-sexual, but in the other article, they said they hit him in the ass with a broomstick. That's still sexual, isn't it? If you're raping dudes with a broom and then you hit one of them in the ass, that one doesn't count as sexual? Like, they weren't getting off on that? Because if they're getting off on it, that makes it a sexual assault. All 3 incidents involved members of a football team. Yeah, that's a gay sport anyway. Members of a football team at the school, and all were filmed on a cell phone. 2 of the videos were shared widely, and 1 was deleted before it could be shared. None of the students who were charged or the 2 victims, all were in their early teens at the time of the offenses, can be identified under the provisions of the Youth Criminal Justice Act. And when I was a kid, that didn't exist. We had the Young Offenders Act, so they call us young offenders. And so this YG term, we didn't use that. We were YOs. So there are several aggravating factors for the court to consider, McNamara said, including the fact that the sexual assault with a broomstick was carried out by a group, which I think makes it worse. I don't know. Maybe that's fucked up for me to say. Because one of you should be saying, hey, what the fuck are you doing? You know? And that the victim was unable to defend himself because he was being held down. She also stressed... Aaron, did I say Eric? Aaron, my bad. She also stressed the quote heinous aspect, unquote, of the sexual assault being recorded and shared. Quote, it's one thing to be violently assaulted, penetrated, and humiliated. Did you have to use the word penetrated? She said, it is another thing to know that that violation is being recorded so that other people will be able to see it, she said. You're not even watching your own words. It means that what happened is, quote, never really over, end quote, she said. Lawyers for the 3 teens urged Ontario Court Justice Brian Weigand not to impose a jail sentence and repeatedly cited a systemic culture of bullying at St. Michael's College School as described in a lengthy cultural review ordered by the school and filed with the court as an exhibit Thursday. A sentencing decision is expected for December 19th. So they're using the excuse that it's normal for them to bully people at this school. Well, we've been raping dudes at this school forever. That's why we did it. That doesn't make no fucking sense. Fuck, man. Oh, you know what?
And the U.S. Defense Department, Amazon's gearing up for a legal battle to dispute the awarding of a $10 billion cloud computing contract with the Pentagon to Microsoft. And the U.S. Defense Secretary is now speaking out, saying this decision was reached fairly. However, Amazon has claimed in a statement there was, quote, unmistakable bias when it came to the project, which is formally called the Joint Enterprise Defense Infrastructure, or JEDI. The e-commerce giant says it has filed its challenge in the U.S. Court of Federal Claims, so we'll have to see what happens here. Amazon finishing lower by 0.8% to $1,739.49. I
don't think Jedi's would
hitting an all-time high today of $149.99. The stock at the close of 1.2% to $149.97. And North American markets soared to new heights with record closing highs for all 4 benchmarks. Investors digesting a rebound for U.S. retail sales, which showed growth in October. We even got some U.S.-China trade optimism. White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow stating both sides are really close to a deal, but U.S. President Donald Trump isn't ready just yet to sign off here. On Wall Street, the Dow breaching approaching the 28,000 mark for the first time ever. It rose 222 points. Nasdaq gained 61. S&P adding 23. Shares of JCPenney rose 6.3% at the close to $1.17. As a department store retailer reported narrower than expected losses in the third quarter, it also raised its profit forecast. And analysts say the boost will give the company more time to implement its turnaround plan. An 11-day rally for Bay Street. TSX rose 56 points to 17,028. That's its first time above the 17,000 mark today. Oil and gold moving in opposite directions. We saw oil up 1.7%, closing at $57.72 a barrel. Baker Hughes reporting the number of active U.S. rigs drilling for oil fell for a fourth week in a row, down 10 to 674, while here in Canada, the number of oil and natural gas rigs did see a weekly drop of 6 to 134. Canadian crude index rose 3.2% to finish above $40 a barrel. Canadian dollar moving with oil today up 15/100ths of a cent so far to 75.62 cents U.S. Gold did move in the opposite direction. It's lower for the first time in 3 days. It lost $4.90, finishing at $1,468. A bright spot, though, for gold and oil. It did see a slight weekly gain. The latest news is on the way at 5 o'clock at the Business Center. I'm Carl Garnash.
You've been diagnosed with depression and can't work. Your insurer advises that your depression is not serious and denies your claim. What are you going to do? Who can you call? Call me, Aaron Waxman, at 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, my team of lawyers only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at pound LTD.
Do me a favor and turn the Napoleon on. Oh, fireplace? No. Barbecue? No, the Napoleon furnace. It's so cold, the dog is wearing the cat.
Wait, Napoleon makes furnaces?
Yep, and they're made in the snow belt, right up there in Barrie. Built for Canadian winters and to the same high standards as their barbecues.
So you have a Napoleon for every season.
Yep, the ultimate Canadian home.
Trust Napoleon to keep your home warm in the winter.
Napoleon makes a furnace that runs on wood, oil, and electricity.
Chance to win your furnace. Check it out at NapoleonHeating.com.
Weather forecast you can bank on, because if we're off by more than 3 degrees,
You can win our growing cash jackpot. The 680 News Weather Guarantee. Enter online at 680news.com.
Taking a look at some regional weather conditions in Oakville, it's mostly cloudy and 2 degrees. Overcast and 2 degrees in Richmond Hill. In Milton, it is cloudy and +1. Hamilton, mostly cloudy and 0. In Ajax, overcast, 2 degrees. In Brampton, mostly cloudy and 2. And right now downtown, a mostly cloudy sky and 4 degrees. This is CFTR 680 News. 680 News time, 5 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
here are James Monroe and Laura Carney.
Good afternoon. It's Friday, November 15th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
Toronto police charge a 33-year-old man in connection to the vandalism of the old City Hall cenotaph.
A famous hockey commentator got fired.
The suspect says the Don Cherry controversy set him off. 2 months after a woman was fatally struck by a cement truck near Yonge and Eglinton.
Her death was a tragedy, as is every death on our roads.
Mayor John Tory announces a plan.
And here comes another cold weather alert. It'll feel like -18 at times overnight. Full traffic and weather in seconds.
The short-handed Leafs look to upend the
He
Boston
should be like
Bruins.
the
Alex
official
Kerfoot
spokesperson for
indefinitely.
Toronto. He
Miles
shouldn't be
Garrett
the
won't play
mayor.
another football game this year. Sports at 15.
Bay and Wall Street soared a new
This
height.
guy
An
can
11-day
fucking
rally for the
spin
TSX up
anything.
by 56. Detour Gold, the big winner. Dow rose 222. Business at 26.
680 News time, 5:01.
Traffic and weather together.
Mattress on the 401. Mattress on the 401, and it's on fire. Come on.
Well, and please,
And there's raccoons in it.
very good news. Right now I'm flying over this skies over Pickering, and we have had this closure of Bailey Street for the last couple of days, broken water main, and they had to resurface the road that had damaged. All done. They've resurfaced the road. This section of Bailey is now open, so good news there for travelers who use Bailey instead of the 401 through here. We do have 401 delays. Let's go eastbound. It's busy Highway 25 to east of James Snow, Winston Churchill to Mavis, 410 the collectors to the south, 427 ramp. Typical delays across Toronto, south of the airport, alternately express and collectors to Kennedy. And then out this way, it starts to get busy just past where we are, east of Brock Road to approaching Stevenson. West 401 is filled in fixed into Brock Street. McCowan, alternately express and collectors to the 427. Approaching Huron, Ontario, express and collectors all the way to west of Highway 25. From the 680 Traffic Center, Christine Langos.
It's a busy drive up the southbound 404 Don Valley from south of Steeles to south of Lawrence. It's heavy at the Bayview Bloor ramp and slow from south of Bloor to the Gardner ramp as well. On the Toronto-bound QEW approaching Centennial Parkway, 2 left lanes are blocked for emergency road work. And because of that, it's just jammed from Casablanca. Then the eastbound QE Gardner is heavy from Bronte to east of 3rd, Winston Churchill to Dixie, from the 427 off and on to east of Dufferin. The 20 times the points event is on tomorrow only at Shoppers Drug Mart. Don't miss it because more points equals more free stuff, and free feels good. Your next report is at 5:11. Now with a check of the forecast, here is Denise Andriachi.
Oh, we're entering in some of the coldest weather that we've seen. We did have an overnight low of minus 13.5 the other day, and we're looking at temperatures close to that again tonight. Wind chill feeling like minus 18. There's been a good wind chill all day today because we've had these gusty winds out of the west. It continues overnight tonight. We've got a slight chance of flurries, but for the most part, it's a dry day and night. Saturday chance of flurries -3. It is +3 right now at Pearson. Your overnight low tonight -11.
680 News Time 5:03.
A 33-year-old Toronto man has been released on bail after being arrested and charged in the vandalism of the old City Hall cenotaph. He says it was the firing of Don Cherry that led him to vandalize a monument.
680 Stuart McGinn joins us with more.
It was the words "Ye broke faith with us" that were found spray painted on the front and side of the cenotaph at Queen and Bay this week. 33-year-old Thomas Christian Zog has been charged with 2 counts of mischief. In a statement posted on social media, he says the situation involving the firing of Don Cherry is what led him to vandalize the monument. He echoed those thoughts outside of a courtroom today.
I feel that Don Cherry getting fired on Remembrance Day for encouraging people to buy and wear a poppy needed some type of response.
Zog also writing to Mayors John Tory and Bonnie Crombie saying if they were stronger moral leaders, he wouldn't have been compelled to do this. In court today, the 33-year-old denied having any mental health issues and said he wants to represent himself because he doesn't trust our legal system. I'm Stuart McGinn.
680 News Time 5:04. Yonge and Eglinton is a high-growth area in the city with plenty of construction projects on the go. Also has a sad history of pedestrian fatalities. So starting next month, the city is going to launch a 1-year pilot project to enhance safety around construction hotspots. 680's Mark Douglas has that.
From the crosstown LRT to all the condos going up and all the cement trucks coming and going, one person at Toronto City Hall will soon be in charge of coordinating almost every aspect of construction here in the Yonge and Eglinton neighborhood. Mayor John Tory.
The coordinator will literally be the city's eyes and ears and everybody's eyes and ears on the ground every single day to make sure that these areas are first and foremost kept safe.
Tory citing the death of Evangeline LaRozza, who was fatally struck by a cement truck in September here at Yonge and Erskine Avenue.
Her death was a tragedy, as is every death on our roads.
People in the neighborhood seem to like the whole idea, but wonder why it took a pedestrian's death to get this going.
Well, it should have been planned even before starting all the construction in the area.
Near Yonge and Eglinton, I'm Mark Douglas.
Chair girl has pleaded guilty to mischief for tossing a chair off a downtown high-rise balcony. 680's Momin Qureshi has more from the courts.
When Marcella Zoya made her first court appearance 8 months ago, she was smiling and seemingly loving the attention. Today, she appears a little more subdued, standing quietly at the front of the courtroom, dressed all in black, as she pleads guilty to mischief endangering life for tossing a chair off a Toronto high-rise balcony, narrowly missing the Gardner Expressway below.
He understands the severity and the consequences of what she's done.
Her lawyer, Gregory Leslie, is adamant Zoya has learned a lot and is a changed person, now potentially facing jail time, with the Crown asking she serve up to 6 months in prison.
I think jail is far excessive, and we'll be asking for suspended sentence.
But you'll have to wait till the new year to
12
find
months
out
for
the
rape
sentencing schedule for January 14th. At Old City Hall, I'm Momin Qureshi.
680 News Time 5:06. The Raptors fan who made a vulgar comment on live TV about the wife of NBA star Steph Curry has had his charge withdrawn. Tristan Warkentin agreed in a Toronto court to a common law bond not to associate with Ayesha Curry or the reporter to whom he made the comments on TV. Warkentin also received counseling for sexual harassment.
The City of Toronto has issued the second extreme cold weather alert of the week, with an overnight wind chill value expected to feel close to -18. Toronto Public Health with how we can cope.
Stay dry, wearing layers, seek shelter if you can, especially if you are spending a lot of time outdoors, and make sure that you visit any friends that you think may be in a vulnerable population, an older person that you know. Make sure that they're not experiencing the effects of the extreme cold.
And the alert comes after we broke 2 temperature records earlier this week.
City of Toronto is not giving up its fight against the Ford government over its forced downsizing of council. The city has filed its application with the Supreme Court, seeking to appeal the province's unilateral decision to reduce the size of council from 47 to 25 seats in the middle of the 2018 municipal election campaign. The country's highest court will have to decide whether it's even willing to hear the case.
A 72-year-old music teacher in Toronto is facing sexual assault charges dating back to the late 90s. It's alleged that from January 1997 to December of that same year, a man sexually assaulted a 13-year-old student during music lessons at his home. John Thomas has been charged with sexual assault and sexual interference. He also goes by the name Juan Thomas and runs his own music business in the Wilson and Bathurst area.
Prime Minister Trudeau has wrapped up his week of face-to-face meetings with the opposition in order to find common ground before the new minority parliament begins sitting on December 5th.
To make sure that we work together.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is looking for common ground with the opposition to make this minority government work. While Elizabeth May wants to cooperate on matters like pharmacare and Indigenous rights, she says not enough is being done to tackle the climate emergency. Unless the Liberals boost greenhouse gas reduction targets and abandon their support for pipelines, May says the party won't back the throne speech.
We can't vote confidence in a government that has a plan for disaster.
But the Greens only have 3 seats, which is not enough to hold the balance of power, and the Prime Minister needs the support of only one of the other opposition parties to survive. The Conservatives are sounding pessimistic. The NDP say it could go either way, and the Bloc Québécois suggests it will likely vote in favor. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Coming up in 30 seconds, latest problems on the streets, and we'll check guests.
680 News Time, 5:09.
You're listening to 680 News.
Christopher Columbus did not believe the earth is flat. That's a misconception.
Another
misconception is that Lazy Boy is all recliners. Yes, Lazy Boy has the most comfortable recliners, but also sofas, sectionals, love seats, fashionable Lazy Boy furniture and accessories for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. And designers who will consult in your home for free.
I wonder where the writers of this commercial went to school.
And Lazy Boy is not all recliners. Surprise, it's Lazy Boy.
And they've been running this ad for like a month, 2 months.
City streets, emergency crews are heading to a crash in Bathurst north of the 401 at Romney. Delays are building in both directions. And northbound Weston Road, heavy for approaching the 401 to north of Walsh because of a collision. Now 680 News, gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will not change at midnight, and it's about $1.15.9 a liter at most stations. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together.
680 News Time, 5:10.
What's taking up space in your office? Printers, servers, old monitors, and desktops? Recycle My Electronics has a dedicated and free pickup service for e-waste just for businesses. We certify destruction and provide a comprehensive tracking process so you can feel confident and secure while keeping sustainability front and center. Schedule a pickup today by calling 1-833-NO-E-WASTE. That's 1-833-NO-E-WASTE. Or visit recyclemyelectronics.ca. The future is in your hands. Don't let it go to waste. Hi, Alan Merriam for Merriam Pianos. Holiday season is almost here, and you probably know that Merriam Pianos sells more baby grands than anyone in Canada, with the best selection and top piano experts. But you might not know that Merriam also sells more digital pianos than any other piano store in the country, and we always match big box and online pricing. So visit Merriam for special holiday savings on our entire piano selection. Merriam Pianos in Oakville and Vaughan.
680 News Time, 5:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by the Princess Margaret Home Lottery Airport Shopper. 680. Here's Kyle.
Well, you may remember we had a minor issue on the westbound 401 approaching the 400 in the express. Stop transport now towed completely away, including, well, it was only on the shoulder, but never did need any crews to block a lane. It's all off the highway. West 401 is first busy approaching Thix into Broad Street, and then McCowan, alternately express and collectors to the 427. Again, west to the 410, express and collectors to west of Highway 25. Eastbound 401 gets busy starting at about this point, approaching Highway 25 to east of James Snow, and again, Winston Churchill to Mavis. So line up from the 410 and the collectors to the south 427 ramp, so heavier than usual there, and a lot of volume heading across the city south of the airport, alternately express and collectors to Kennedy, and again from Westmead to Stevenson in Durham region, so at least a little lighter in Durham to start with anyway. From the 680 Traffic Center, Christine Langos.
Drive all because of construction. Toronto-bound QEW approaching Centennial Parkway. The 2 left left lanes are blocked here. They're hanging cables from a high-mast lighting area, so that's why this big delay. It's jammed from approaching Casablanca to approaching Centennial through 3rd, from Winston Churchill to Dixie, and then you'll find delays on the eastbound Gardner anywhere from the 427 off and on to east of Dufferin. On the northbound Don Valley Parkway, it's slow from Bloor to the 401, and northbound 404 remains heavy from Steeles to Major Mackenzie. Also have delays south on the 404 Don Valley from south of Steeles to south of Lawrence, from Bloor onto the Gardner ramp, and the westbound Gardner Queenie is heavy from the Don Valley Parkway to west of Strawn, Parklawn to the 427. It continues slow out to west of Hurontario from the Fort Plant to Trafalgar, and from Burloak to the 403 ramp. The early bird deadline in the Princess Margaret Home Lottery is midnight tonight. Just 7 hours left to be in for the Muskoka Lakefront Cottage. Order now at princessmargaretlotto.com. Your next report is at 5:21, and now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
I need a $3 million house out in the woods.
Well, it hasn't really left us, has it? It looks and feels like winter out there. And it's going to get very cold tonight. Overnight lows near -11 with a wind chill of -18. Saturday's highs only near -3. The average is 7 degrees this time of year. Partly cloudy conditions Saturday night, not as bitterly cold. Lows near -4. It's mostly cloudy and 2 degrees right now at Pearson. It's 4 downtown, but feels like -2. Overnight tonight, -11.
680 News Time, 5:13.
Now the Scotia iTrade Market Minute to the Business Center. That's the week, Carl.
What a week it was, James. Honestly, record closing highs throughout the week for both Bay and Wall Street. Today, we got all 4 benchmarks locking in some record closing highs, as well as some big milestones. The TSX finishing above the 17,000 mark for the first time today. It rose 56 points, 17,028, an 11-day rally. Stateside, the Dow breached the 28,000 mark for the first time. It rose 222 points. NASDAQ climbed by 61. S&P adding 23. We did get some U.S.-China trade optimism today. Gold fell.
The Canadian dollar will be worth 75 point something cents.
Oil rose 1.7%, closing at 57.72 a barrel. Canadian dollar higher by 16/100ths of a cent, closing at 75.63 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnish.
From the excitement of their first day to walking proudly.
I'm not paying you 0.63 cents on anything. We don't even have pennies in this fucking country.
Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to better prepare kids for the future and the jobs of the future. So we're making updates with a focus on positive mental health, technology, skills,
I can't spend them anywhere.
So our kids
Where the fuck am I
are
going to
prepared to
take
succeed every step of the way. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario. Every Volvo is thoughtfully made with you and your family in mind. Designed to spoil with unprecedented luxury and Scandinavian craftsmanship. And with legendary safety features that come standard, you can help protect what matters most. The Volvo Family Event is the perfect time to get the vehicle your family deserves. Lease or finance at 2.9% and receive a holiday bonus of up to $4,000 on select models. Visit your GTA Volvo retailer or volvocars.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Cloudy skies in downtown Toronto, 3 degrees at Pearson. Good afternoon from 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm James Monroe.
And I'm Laura Carney. Here are the top stories this hour.
Sour grapes. A 33-year-old Toronto man out on bail after being charged in connection with vandalism on the cenotaph at Old City Hall. Thomas Zog claims the emergence of cancel culture and the firing of Don Cherry were his motives. He'll be back in court in December. City of Toronto under an extreme cold weather alert. Overnight at times it'll feel like -18. Temperatures expected to warm up and sunny skies in time for the Santa Claus parade on Sunday. Full traffic and weather after sports.
I would have bet money that that was a mental illness snap sort of thing.
From Sportsnet 590 fan Alex 60.
All right, James, the Leafs could use a big win tonight, but they're without their third-line center. Alex Kerfoot had surgery for some dental fractures.
He lost faith. He's going to go around to the back to see
Jason Spezza will take his place with Trevor Moore and Ilya Mikheyev. Leafs Bruins at 7 p.m. on.
Don't give a fuck. I don't think I've ever owned anything with a team logo on it. Never thought about it. Oh, I lie. This would be the first one. But it doesn't. It just is Texas. If you don't know sports, you wouldn't realize the fucking registration. It's registered. Texas, registered. Fucking Longhorns, right? I can tell because the fucking thing is Longhorns with them registered next to it. Thank you. This will be the first. I can't think of anything else with a fucking team logo on it ever before this. And I didn't buy this. And I don't even like fucking wearing it because it looks weird. But it's covered up with this, so I don't give a fuck. Yeah, fuck. It's like a crackhead fucking trying to burn the resin out of the fucking pipe. But I have quarters. I might just disappear and go get coffee and say fuck all of you.
Tonight is the Princess Margaret Home Lottery Early Bird Deadline. Don't miss our world-famous $1.3 million early bird prize.
That's
a spectacular
bird.
cottage in Muskoka, built by Linwood, plus $50,000 cash. All this could be yours. Just hours remain. The early bird deadline is midnight tonight. Tickets at PrincessMargaretLotto.com.
6 News Time, 5:18. The ousted U.S. ambassador to Ukraine.
You know how big a fucking $1.3 million cottage is?
Jesus Christ. Marie Ivanovich decried the smear campaign that she said led to her dismissal as U.S. ambassador to Ukraine.
If our chief representative is kneecapped, it limits our effectiveness to safeguard the vital national security interests of the United States.
Republican attorney Steve Castor asked whether President Trump had good reason to be skeptical of Ukraine.
In your deposition, you acknowledged that the president has longstanding concerns about corruption in Ukraine. Is that true?
That's what he says.
Public hearings continue next week.
Isn't that hearsay? That's what he
ABC News.
Roger Stone, a longtime friend of U.S. President Trump, has been found guilty at his trial in federal court in Washington.
Roger Stone was found guilty of witness tampering and lying to Congress about his attempts to contact WikiLeaks. His trial highlighted how Trump campaign associates were eager to gather information about Russian-hacked emails damaging to Hillary Clinton's 2016 election bid. President Trump tweeted about the conviction, a double standard like never before seen in the history of our country. Stone is the sixth Trump aide or advisor to be convicted of charges brought as part of special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. He could face up to 20 years in prison, the judge saying sentencing is likely to happen early February. I'm Julie Walker.
And the bad blood between Taylor Swift and the music execs who own her old songs is back in the spotlight.
Welcome to the music
Swift is
business.
taking to Tumblr, writing that she's being blocked from playing her old songs. In the post, which says that at next week's American Music Awards, where she's getting Artist of the Decade, she was going to do a medley of her hits. But music execs Scott Borchetta and Scooter Braun, who own all the music Swift made before this year, won't let her sing her old stuff. And she revealed that Netflix has been following her for years for a documentary. And the guys also won't let her use her music for that. Next
You
November,
should have
Swift
done
will
it
legally
before,
be allowed to
dummy.
re-record her old
Fuck.
music. But until then, there might not be much she can do. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together, 6 News Time, 5:20.
Being an entrepreneur means finding partners who align with my business vision and my values. And with the help of BDC, I've succeeded in building a solid company that I can really be proud of. At BDC, being the only bank exclusively devoted to entrepreneurs means fully understanding our client's vision. So when we help you build your business, it's a business we can both be proud of.
Go further with BDC. BDC, financing, advising, smarts.
Did you know there's a fast way to send money abroad? It's called Xoom. 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 The money transfer app from PayPal that lets you send money abroad fast at amazing rates. Send money directly to bank accounts or for cash pickup at thousands of locations around the world. Don't go to the store and wait in line to send money. Download the Xoom app today and send money right from your phone. Money go Xoom.
6 News Time, 5:21. Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Aaronwood Ford. Airborne shop for 680. Here's Kyle.
It is still quite busy if you're battling your way east or west on the 401. Quite a battle, especially eastbound. A lot of patchy volume starting Highway 25 to east of James Snow Parkway. Another delay Winston Churchill to Mavis, and still quite heavy. 410 in the collectors to the southbound 427 ramp. As you travel across the city, gets busy from south of the airport to Victoria Park Express and the Kennedy collectors. And in your region, just a touch much lighter than usual, starting westly to east of, just about Stevenson. Westbound 401 also slow here, Stevenson to Broad Street, and McCowan alternately express and collectors to the 427, and 410 express and collectors to west of Highway 25. From the 680 Traffic Center, Christine Lagos.
Southbound 400 is heavy from Steeles to the 401 ramps. In the midst of this delay, we have a problem southbound 400 approaching Finch. The left lane is blocked. Emergency crews are on scene. It's also still on the southbound 404 Don Valley from south of Steeles to south of Lawrence. It's heavy at the Bayview Blue ramp. And then we have delays from south of Bloor down onto the Gardner ramp. Westbound Gardner Queenie delays DVP to west of Strawn, Park Lawn to the 427. It continues slow out to west of Huron, Ontario. Then it's busy from the Ford Plant to Trafalgar approaching Appleby to the 403 ramp. It is starting to ease somewhat. What isn't easing is this mess on the Toronto-bound QEW. It's jammed from approaching Casablanca to approaching Centennial Parkway. It's all because of emergency roadwork taking up the two left lanes. They're repairing loose cables from a high mast lighting area, and we don't know when it's going to reopen. So unfortunately, you're stuck with this delay. The eastbound QE Gardner is heavy through 3rd, Winston, Churchill to Dixie from the 427 off and on to the east of Dufferin. The Swap Your Ride sales event is on at Aaronwood Ford. Save another $1,000 off the already low price. Swap your ride and save $1,000 at aaronwoodford.com. Your next report is at 5:31. And now with the forecast, here's Denise Andreacci.
Those winds have shifted now. They're coming out of the northwest, and this is what brings our temperatures down steadily and drastically through the overnight, plus bitter wind chills, feeling like minus 18 overnight and early Saturday morning. Highs through the day tomorrow, only near minus 3. The average is plus 7. We don't see that even in the long-range forecast. Partly cloudy Saturday night, lows near minus 4. And for parade day, 2 degrees for a high. You'll still need to bundle the kids up. We look dry, though, and comfortable as long as you've got all the warm gear on. A mix of sun and cloud through the day, cloudy periods of plus 1 for Sunday night. It's mostly cloudy and 2 right now at Pearson. Your overnight low, minus 11.
Coming up the bottom of the hour, a 33-year-old Toronto man out on bail after being charged in connection with vandalism on the Cenotaph at Old City Hall. We'll hear from Thomas Zog straight ahead.
680 News Time, 5:23.
RedTag.ca. Looking for the best winter vacation deals? Save big with RedTag.ca on destinations in the Caribbean, Mexico, or even Europe. Plus, enjoy savings on cruise getaways. Book your trip now and pay for it using our monthly payment plan. And get Air Miles reward miles on vacation packages. More travel, more savings. Plan your winter getaway today. Restrictions apply. RedTag.ca.
Now you can listen to 680 News on your Sonos smart speaker, Amazon Echo, or any Google Chromecast-enabled device, like Google Home, with the free Radio Player Canada app.
In the car, tune in using Radio Player on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Radio Player Canada. It's where Canadian radio plays.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. Well, another sign holidays are quickly approaching. Around 2,000 bell ringers will be spreading across the country today, kicking off the Salvation Army Christmas Kettle campaign. This year you can donate using debit or credit cards at Tap and Go Kettles or by donating online. Funds raised in the GTA will support local Salvation Army programs. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll wrap the week in the markets.
680 News Time, 5:25.
Prostate 1 from Afocal, a once-a-day traditional herbal
medicine for men suffering from symptoms of enlarged prostate, such as frequent urination and sexual dysfunction. Prostate 1 from Afocal. Feel and perform your best. Prostate 1, wherever natural health products are sold. The holidays are here, and it's time to get yourself all the seasonal Subaru classics, like or this old chestnut. Great fuel efficiency all the way. Or who could forget this classic? Safety features. Visit your Subaru dealer for a $500 holiday bonus at the My Subaru Gave to Me.
And Subaru people are like that too. They'll budget that $500 fucking dollars out. They'll give it a fucking month
suffering from symptoms of enlarged prostate, such as frequent urination and sexual dysfunction. Prostate 1 from Afocal. Feel and perform your best. Prostate 1, wherever natural health products are sold.
680 News Time, 5:26.
Now, the 680 Business Report. Here's Carl Garnish.
North American markets have reached a whole new level. All four benchmarks once again reaching record closing highs. It's a big milestone for Bay Street, finishing above the 17,000 mark for the first time ever. Locking in an 11-day rally, the TSX rose by 56 points, 17,028. The big winner on Bay today was Detour Gold, the stock surging 10.9% at the close, $21.39. While the miner's third quarter production was below expectations, a National Bank analyst says the stock will outperform due to strong free cash flow and its fourth quarter guidance. The big loser on Bay today was Aurora Cannabis, plunging 18% to $3.59. It flirted with a two-year low after disappointing first quarter results, but some are staying optimistic. A Cantor Fitzgerald analyst upgrading the stock today, admitting it was a bad quarter for the Canadian cannabis producer, but it believes it can't get any worse. Gold for the first time in 3 days, down $4.90, finishing at $1,468. It's slightly higher for the week, though. Oil rose 1.7%, closing at $57.72 a barrel, while the Canadian dollar was higher by 0.16 of a cent, finishing at 75.63 cents U.S. Stateside Wall Street got a boost from some U.S.-China trade optimism. White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow stating the U.S.-China trade deal is near, but President Donald Trump is not ready to sign on one agreement just yet. U.S. retail sales also rebounding in October, seeing some growth. They rose 0.3% after a 0.3% decline in September. The Dow breached the 28,000 mark for the first time ever. It rose 222 points, 28,004. Boeing in focus as United Airlines announced that it's going to be removing its 14 grounded Boeing 737 MAX jets from its schedule until March 4th. The plane maker is still working to get the MAX jets back into the sky before the end of the year. Boeing at the close higher by 1.1% to $371.68, while United Airlines fell by a cent to $92.51. The S&P added 23 points, 3,120, while the Nasdaq climbed by 61, 8,540. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnish.
If you haven't taken the time to visit Lando Lighting recently and you're looking to freshen up your home, then wait no longer. New lighting can make all the difference in your home. Designers know it's the key ingredient to making a room stand apart from the rest. So isn't it time you visit the lighting specialists at Lando Lighting? With a massive selection of lighting and the best prices, there's no reason to go anywhere else. And right now, enjoy savings of up to 60%. Everything looks better with Lando Lighting. 210 Clarence Street, Brampton.
Some things just don't fit, like a truck that doesn't suit your lifestyle. That's why Toyota offers the adventure-ready RAV4 with available all-wheel drive. Find the Toyota that's right for you. Lease the 2020 RAV4 all-wheel drive LE for as low as $96 weekly at 3.99% APR for 52 months with $0 down. Or finance at 2.99% APR for 36 months. Visit your local Ontario Toyota dealer or getyourtoyota.ca. Some conditions apply.
This Business Travelers Forecast is brought to you by Rate Shop Mortgages. You've inspired us to do more. Let us inspire you with lower monthly payments on home equity loans despite income, age, or credit. Apply at rateshop.ca. License 12733. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're up to Vancouver, showers 13, Calgary showers 12, Edmonton showers 6, Montreal light snow high of 3, San Francisco partly cloudy 16, Chicago clear and 4, Orlando showers and 24, in downtown Toronto cloudy skies and 2 degrees. 680 News Time 5:30.
Stop fucking going to where I'm not fucking tapping.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are James Monroe and Laura Carney.
Good afternoon. This is Friday, November 15th.
Here's what's making news right now.
The suspect now in custody in connection to the vandalism of the cenotaph at Old City Hall. Mayor John Tory announcing a pilot program to help prevent any more death or injury here in the Young Eglinton construction zone.
Learned lessons and sometimes from tragedy, to be quite frank. The woman who sparked outrage when she threw a chair off a downtown balcony pleads guilty.
He understands the
whatever happened to Crane Girl 1 and 2?
She will be sentenced in the new year.
Maple Leafs starting up another back-to-back tonight. They'll host the Boston Bruins at 7. Miles Garrett suspended.
They make it sound like a fucking goal.
Canada's largest railway is planning to cut more than 1,000 jobs. Record closing highs for the TSX and Dow. TSX rose by 56, Dow higher by 222. Business at 56.
680 News Time 5:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Shoppers Drug Mart up in Shoppers 680. Kyle Hawking.
Yes,
there we are. If you're traveling to 401, sorry, wrong button. If you're traveling to 401, we've got...
Are you busy right now?
Before your drive. Busy first of all, the West 401 is from about Stevenson to approaching Brock Street. Then you've got volume about McCowan, alternately Express and Collectors to the 427. More delays, 410 Express and Collectors.
Is there anyone that sounds like a helicopter? I swear, does it sound his fucking plane?
Through James Snow over to Trafalgar, Winston Churchill to Mavis. Still quite slow from the 410 and the Collectors over to the southbound 427 ramp. Typical volume then as you approach the 427 to Kennedy, alternately Express and Collectors across Toronto. And then in the Durham region, delays Westy over to Stevenson. From the 680 traffic center, Christine Lagos.
It's jammed on the southbound 400 from the 407 to approaching Finch, where a collision is blocking the left lane, also the reopened lane 2. It's then slow from south of Finch to the 401 ramps, and plenty of volume and construction delays on the Toronto-bound QEW. First of all, approaching Centennial, 2 left lanes are blocked. It's jammed from approaching Casablanca, and then it's slow from Winston Churchill to Dixie. Eastbound Gardner is heavy from the 427, off and on to east of Dufferin. Tomorrow only, you'll get 20 times the PC Optimum points when you spend $50 or more on almost anything at Shoppers Drug Mart. Restrictions apply. Details in store. Your next report is at 5:41. And now with a look at the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
A gusty wind out of the northwest now, and this brings our temperatures down. Overnight, it's going to feel like minus 18. We've got the chance of a few flurries through the day on Saturday, and really struggling to even make it to the freezing mark. Our high only minus 3 tomorrow. The average this time of year is plus 7. It's 2 degrees right now at Pearson. Overnight tonight, minus 11.
680 News Time, 5:33.
A 32-year-old Toronto man has been charged with 2 counts of mischief after the cenotaph at Old City Hall was vandalized this week. The man points to the firing of Don Cherry for what led him to vandalize the monument.
His name is Thomas Christian Zog, and the 33-year-old is now facing 2 mischief charges in relation to the vandalism that was discovered on Tuesday. Written around the cenotaph at Old City Hall were the words, "Ye broke faith with us."
My fellow Canadians, please recognize that I am not insane.
Zog posted a statement and 2 videos to his personal Facebook page, linking his passion to the controversy surrounding Don Cherry.
I really think that what Don Cherry was talking about was this culture where people don't generally wear the poppy because they generally don't give.
The man also backed up previous comments from Stephen Harper, saying Canada's in the midst of an identity crisis. In court today, the 33-year-old refused legal counsel and denied having any mental health problems. I'm Stuart McGinn.
680 News Time, 5:34. The project will not launch next month. That'll see the city put an emphasis on safety and mobility around construction hotspots. The 1-year pilot will launch at Yonge and Eglinton, a high-growth area with a history of pedestrian fatalities. 680's Mark Douglas is there.
Making all this construction here safer and more sensible. Mayor John Tory announcing a 1-year pilot project.
As is the case with many of these complex issues we deal with, there is no one answer. But this is a very good start.
One person at City Hall will coordinate almost every element of every construction project around Yonge and Eglinton. Tory says safety is the main reason behind this, citing the woman who was killed right here at Yonge and Erskine a couple of months ago.
Those who are public life, whether it's public servants or elected officials, often have to learn lessons, and sometimes from tragedy, to be quite frank.
The people I'm meeting around here think this pilot project is a pretty good idea, but some are also asking.
Nobody does that?
No one's done that yet. Is that a surprise to you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's very dangerous around here walking.
Near Yonge and Eglinton, I'm Mark Douglas.
680 News Time, 5:35. Chair girl has pleaded guilty to mischief, endangering the public after she tossed patio furniture from a downtown high-rise balcony. 680's Mo McCarthy is more from Old City Hall Court.
Wasn't a
When
big
video
glass
surfaced of Marcella Zoya tossing a chair off
yeah.
a Toronto high-rise balcony,
what I
it
would've
sparked outrage, which amplified when she was
Would've
seen
had help,
smiling
too.
and seemingly loving the attention at her first court hearing. Flash forward 8 months, and today, Zoya pleading guilty to mischief endangering life. Her lawyer, Gregory Leslie, insists she's a changed person.
This does show that she is remorseful for her actions.
She could end up spending some time behind bars, with the Crown asking for a sentence of up to 6 months in jail, but Leslie thinks that's excessive.
She understands that's a possibility. Hopefully it won't happen. My objective is that it doesn't happen and she receives a suspended sentence.
She'll have to wait until January to find out. At Old City Hall, I'm Momin Qureshi.
680 News Time, 5:36. A charge has been withdrawn against a Raptors fan who made a crude comment about the wife of Golden State Warrior star Steph Curry. 680's Charlene Close joins us with more. Tristan Workington has agreed to a common law bond not to associate with Ayesha Curry or the CP24 reporter, to whom he made the comments. Workington has also received counseling for sexual harassment, and his lawyer says he is sorry. He was charged with mischief after using vulgar language during a live TV interview with a reporter in the Jurassic Park fan zone outside Scotiabank Arena June 2nd. The comments came after the Raptors lost Game 2 of the NBA Finals against Golden State. Aisha Curry is an actress, celebrity cook, author, and TV personality, and she's no stranger to Toronto. She grew up in Markham. I'm Sherwin Close.
680 News Time, 5:37. Toronto's taking its legal battle against the province to Canada's highest court. The city says it has filed an appeal with the Supreme Court, looking to overturn the Ontario Court of Appeal ruling stating that legislation that cut City Council nearly in half was constitutional. Premier Ford tabled the Better Local Government Act partway through last year's municipal election. The law passed in August, roughly 2 months before the October vote.
Make-believe star Austin Matthews is apologizing once again after news today that the disorderly conduct case against him has been dismissed. We get more from Sportsnet 590 The Fans, Andrew Nye.
He's said it before, and he'll say it again.
I just want to reiterate again just how truly sorry I am for my actions, my behavior. I never meant to cause any distress to this woman, and I can assure you that I've learned from my mistakes and my actions, and something for myself to just strive, every day to be better in every aspect of my life.
Disorderly conduct and disruptive behavior charges against Matthews were dropped this week after he reportedly settled with a female security guard following an incident in Scottsdale, Arizona last May. Andrew Nye, Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
And the public hearings into the impeachment investigation of U.S. President Trump resuming in Washington today with the ousted U.S. ambassador to Ukraine testifying.
The White House is pushing back on charges by Democrats that the president engaged in witness tampering by tweeting criticisms of Marie Yovanovitch while she was testifying today on Capitol Hill. The president wrote this morning, quote, "Everywhere Marie Yovanovitch went turned bad." Even some Republican lawmakers acknowledged this tweet was not helpful. But White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham said in a statement that the president's tweet was not witness intimidation. Quote, "It was simply the president's opinion, which he's entitled to." Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Coming up at 5:41, traffic and weather together on the ones.
680 News Time, 5:39.
What does your dream home look like? Hi, I'm Jeannie Becker, and for over 50 years, Georgian Renovations has been designing spaces you'll love. We know how hard it is making a decision to renovate, so for a limited time only, we're offering our interior design services for the incredible value of $5,000. See your vision come to life before you decide on your renovation, and buy with confidence, knowing exactly what your dream home will look like. Schedule your design consultation today at GeorgianReno.com.
City streets in Brampton, traffic spotters are warning drivers to stay away from the downtown area at Huron, Ontario and Maine. Road closures are in place for tonight's tree lighting ceremony, and again, traffic spotters are saying traffic there is a mess. Now, the 680 News gas price update. Empro predicting the price of gas will not change at midnight, holding at $1.15.9 a liter at most GTA stations.
680 News Time, 5:40.
At Rogers, get business-grade internet solutions like Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit plus Office 365. Now just $119.99 a month on a 3-year term. Visit rogers.com/internet for biz.
You can make
Rising 47 stories above church in Adelaide comes a building that can only be described as remarkable. Introducing The Saint from Minto Communities. The Saint takes its place alongside Toronto's most iconic buildings. Find your center. Register at thesaintcondos.com. Minto Communities.
At Rogers, get business-grade internet solutions like Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit plus Office 365. Now just $119.99 a month on a 3-year term. Visit rogers.com/internet for biz.
You can make
680 News Time, 5:41.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones, brought to you by Infinity Canada up in Chopper 680. Kyle.
Well, I want to mention this because it is quite a sight. We're at Jane and Steeles right now. We've got a high-rise fire in a condo building here. It's about 7 or 8 stories up, and it is a unit that is fully engulfed in flame right now. Fire trucks are heading towards this area. It looks as though it's a building on Gosford Drive, so we have lane restrictions on Gosford. If you know the area, it is just south southwest of the Jane and Steeles intersection. There are lots of fire crews heading towards this area, so just keep an eye out. If you're anywhere near Jane and Steeles, you'll likely be passed by fire trucks that are moving at a quick pace. This is a fully engulfed unit in this condo building. We have on the westbound 401, if you're traveling the highways, we have just volume approaching Stevenson to west of the 412, McCowan Collectors, Kennedy Express to Dixon, 410 Express and Collectors to west of Highway 25, East 401 busy Highway 25 to east of James Snow, Winston Churchill to Mavis, and then from Dixie to Victoria Park Express and the Kennedy and the Collectors. Another delay westbound to Stevenson from the 680 Traffic Center, Christine Langos.
And over northbound, or southbound 400 rather, approaching Finch, there's still a crash here. Left lane is affected, and it's jammed from Highway 7, and then a bit slow southbound 400 from Shepherd to the 401 ramp. Southbound 404 Don Valley, delays approaching Steeles to south of Lawrence, approaching Don Mills to the Bayview Blue ramp, and slow from Girard all the way down to the Gardner ramp as well. So lots of volume on the southbound 404 Don Valley. Northbound Don Valley 404 is slow from Bloor to the 401 from Steeles to north of 16th. On the Toronto-bound QEW, big delays approaching Casablanca to approaching Centennial, where the two left lanes are blocked for emergency road work. They're repairing loose cables up ahead. And eastbound QE Gardner is slow from Winston Churchill to Dixie, 427 to east of Dufferin. Westbound Gardner Queenie is slow from the DVP to west of Strawn, Park Lawn to the 427, pretty much out to west of here, Ontario. Then delays for Drive to Trafalgar, approaching Appleby to the 403 ramp. To celebrate Infinity's 30th birthday, you can lease any model from 0% for 30 months. Don't miss this amazing opportunity. Infinity only turns 30 once. Your next report is at 5:31. Now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
4 degrees downtown, partly cloudy. It feels like -2. We're going to continue with a clearing trend through the overnight, and the winds will continue to impact the temperatures and how it feels out there. It's going to feel like -18, as now we've got gusty winds out of the northwest, and this is one of the coldest nights we've seen. We had our coldest a couple of days ago, and we just can't break this pattern of below seasonal conditions across the region. Chance of flurries for Saturday. Highs only near -3. The average is +7. We're partly cloudy Saturday night and -4. Your overnight low tonight, -11.
680 News Time, 5:43.
Now the Scotia iTrade Market Minutes, live from the Business Center, Carl Garnish.
Laura, record closing highs for both Bay and Wall Street. The TSX and the Dow kind of leveling up of sorts today. The TSX rose above the 17,000 mark for the first time and actually finished above it as well. It rose 56 points to 17,028, also locking in an 11-day rally. As for the Dow, it reached the 28,000 mark for the first time and it stayed above it, rising 222 points, 28,004. S&P added 23 points, NASDAQ gained 61. U.S.-China trade optimism playing a little bit here for investors. They're hoping they're getting even closer to a U.S.-China trade deal soon. At least that's the word from U.S. officials. Gold fell $4.90, finishing at $1,468. Oil rose 1.7%, closing at $57.72 a barrel. And the Canadian dollar was higher by 16/100ths of a cent, finishing at 75.63 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnash.
A special speaker on what makes a speaker special. Vince Bertsazy, president and founder of Totem Acoustic, is coming to Bay Bloor Radio. Listen and learn this Friday and Saturday as Vince introduces extraordinary new models that hit all the right notes. Exciting demonstrations, expert advice, and yes, Black Friday pricing on world-class sound from right here in Canada.
There's only one Bay Bloor Radio. The right sound for the right price.
From finger painting to times tables, school's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to prepare kids for the future, their future. So we're updating it to give kids the tools they need to support positive mental health, develop real life skills, and prepare for what's next. So they're ready to rise to every test, during school and after. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey
Really?
at ontario.ca/education.
Don't you have 3 fucking sets of teachers striking right now?
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Cloudy and 3 degrees. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast
No,
Center
what?
in downtown Toronto. I'm Laura Carney.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right
You didn't
now.
know, but it's going to go
33-year-old
down.
Toronto man
You're
has been
lying.
released on bail after being arrested and charged in the vandalism of the old City Hall cenotaph. The man taking to social media saying it was the firing of Don Cherry that led him to vandalize the monument. And Yonge and Eglinton is a high-growth area in the city with a number of construction projects on the go. It also has a history of pedestrian fatalities. So starting next month, the city is going to launch a one-year pilot project there to enhance safety around construction hotspots.
8x8 6 City Sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Alex Cicero.
And Laura, anytime we talk about the Boston Bruins, we must talk about that excellent top line.
They're not big guys, but they play heavy. They got crowbars for sticks. And they compete hard and they like winning. And obviously they think they're good. They are.
Crowbars for sticks. It's a good one. There's Mike Babcock. Leafs and Bruins tonight from Scotiabank Arena at 7. Jason Spezza coming in for Alex Kerfoot, who is out indefinitely after surgery to repair some dental fractures. Meanwhile, to the CONCACAF Nations League, Alphonso Davies and the Canadian men's soccer team will play the States in Orlando tonight. 1 point is all Canada needs to win the group and move closer to the Hex. Kickoff at 7. Canada will host one of 4 FIBA Olympic qualifying tournaments next summer. That'll go in Victoria. If Canada wins that basketball tourney, they will be heading to the Olympics. NFL hitting Cleveland's Myles Garrett with an indefinite suspension stemming from last night's incident where he struck Mason Rudolph in the head with a helmet. Garrett will not play against this year. Rudolph will be fined. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 547.
What am I saying? It wasn't plastic at all. So it's not heavy. Maybe that's why this plastic. I don't fucking know. It looks like wood and really good metal. It don't look maybe it's fucking
And how did you tell them that you didn't get to
this stupid little folding chair. I guess I just see things a little bit. What trash cans off these, man? Who the fuck cares?
No, playing only in theaters.
Whoever killed this little kid with the air conditioner isn't going to get any time. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I know this city. I know this city. This is why I'm so fucking sad.
In downtown Vaughan.
No, I don't know why I thought it was plastic. I don't know what it's made of. That doesn't look like real legal.
It's a celebration.
Probably fake.
A Memphis Quadrille community. Register at festivalsouthvmc.com.
680 News Time, 548. Apple has removed all of the vaping-related apps from its App Store amid rising concerns surrounding vaping-related illnesses. Some of the 181 banned apps provided news about the vaping community along with vaping-themed games. There were also apps that allowed users to adjust the temperature and other settings on their vaping devices. Meantime, health officials in Quebec are confirming a third case of severe lung illness believed to be linked to vaping. They say the person who fell ill consumed illegal nicotine vaping product, as did the 2 other Quebecers who developed severe lung illness related to vaping. Federal health authorities say as of November 12th, an additional 5 probable cases have been reported across the country, 2 in New Brunswick and 3 in British Columbia. 680 News Time, 549, a major box office milestone for Joker. We get more from ABC's Jason Nathanson.
My mother always tells me to smile and put on a happy face.
Happy faces all around for Warner Brothers, the studio behind Joker, as the Batman villain's origin story crosses $1 billion at the worldwide box office. No R-rated movie has ever hit that mark, and impressive for this day and age, it did it without opening in China. It's the 7th film to hit $1 billion this year, and while audiences surely love the divisive movie, voting with their dollars, now we'll see if award season voters will show Joker and star Joaquin Phoenix some love as well. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic in your extended forecast, 680 News Time, 550.
At Mark's this Friday and Saturday, November 15th and 16th, save up to 70% off our regular price store-wide. Excludes the purchase of gift cards. Door crasher prices is marked. Visit Mark's this weekend. Mark's, here's to the well-born.
We're 2 men and a truck. And we've got lots of men and lots of trucks. Whether you're planning to move to a new home or to a new office down the hall, big or small, we move them all. We even sell packing and moving supplies. But no matter what you need, we'll do it with a smile. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. So when you're planning your next move,
Bastards know they got it. See, condo fire. Back in 10 minutes. What?
The movers who care.
At Mark's this Friday and Saturday.
There's people making bets right now. Meth lab.
Save up to 70% off.
Crackhead burned out their house. What is it? Blow up.
Door crasher prices is Mark's. Visit Mark's this weekend. Mark's, here's to the well-born.
680 News Time, 5:51.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Alternative Savings up in Chopper 680. Kyle Hawking.
I want to update your volume on the 401, but in just a moment, once I finish telling you about this fully engulfed apartment fire here on Gosford Boulevard, which is just southwest of Jane and Steeles. Emergency crews still flying towards this scene. We've got fire trucks coming up Jane that I can see, as well as along Finch, which I'm flying over right now. They're coming westbound on Finch right towards Jane. And we've also got emergency crews screaming across Steeles to try to get to this fire. Again, it is fully engulfed. I don't believe they've even begun to put this unit out yet. It's on Gosford Boulevard, just south of Jane and Steeles. And we've already got a number of fire crews on the scene, and there are a ton more on the way. So just give them space if you're in the area of Jane and Steeles, or if you're on Finch near Jane as well. Now, updating 401 volume, it's busy eastbound, east of Highway 25 to east of James Snow, Winston Churchill to Mavis, Dixie, alternately expressing collectors to Kennedy, and east of Westy to Stevenson. West 401 volume, Stevenson to west to the 412, McCowan collectors and Kennedy express over to Dixon, and from the 410 expressing collectors to west of Highway 25. From the 680 Traffic Center, Christine Langos.
It's a flash southbound 400 approaching Finch, blocking the left lane. It's jamming things up from Highway 7 to approaching Finch, and southbound 404 Don Valley looking at general delays from Steeles off and on to Bayview Bloor, and from approaching Gerard to the Gardner ramp. Heading out westbound Gardner Queenie, slow DVP to west of Strawn, Park Lawn out to west of Huron, Ontario, Ford Drive to Trafalgar from Burloak to the 403 ramp, and Toronto bound QEW a mess from approaching Christie to approaching Centennial Parkway because of construction. The two left lanes have been taken out, and then it's slow on the eastbound QE Gardner from Winston Churchill to Dixie, 427 to east of Dufferin. Wake up your savings with their scary good rates and visit alterna.ca to learn more. Your next report is at 6:01. Now the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
4 degrees downtown and 2 at Pearson. We have a gusty northwest wind. Our temps will start to fall now very steadily overnight. We'll have a wind chill of -18. Yep, that's how cold it's going to feel if you're an early riser on Saturday. And highs through the day tomorrow only -3 with a chance of flurries. 4th parade day on Sunday, sun and cloud. Not too bad. Still below seasonal. You need a lot of layers, but highs near 2 degrees. Lows near +1 with cloudy periods for Sunday night. Your overnight low tonight, -11.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Cold Drops.
One drop for temporary relief of sore throat and nasal congestion. Cold Drops are available at Metro pharmacies near you. This product may not be right for you. Always read and follow the label.
This just into 680 News. Emergency crews have been called to a building near Jane and Steeles after a fire broke out in a 9th floor apartment. Fire officials telling 680 News the fire is at a building on Gosford Boulevard just north of Shoreham Drive. Smoke can be seen coming through the windows of at least one of the units. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story.
This is 680 News.
There are 7,880,000
Double or nothing. Let's see how many units are actually going to catch fire. How many floors?
Every last one. Or you could take advantage of unparalleled luxury and the advanced capability of Lexus all-wheel drive to experience everything that winter has to offer.
Lease a 2020 Lexus RX 350 for as low as 2.9% APR with delivery credits of up to $2,000. Visit LexusGTA.ca or your Toronto area Lexus dealer for details.
Smart people
With smart speakers,
always listen to
Alexa, play 680 News.
Playing 680 News. Ready, set, weekend. Our Colin Robertson is taking a look at what's happening in the GTA.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that it's 8:25? Precisely. Damn, I'm late for school.
The Cinesphere is showing Back to the Future Part 2. Film rolls at 7:30.
Look, Maggie, Christopher Walken's reading Goodnight Moon.
Creed's Coffee Bar on DuPont is hosting Raw Storytelling.
Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon.
Tickets are $10. And it's Friday Night Live at the ROM. It runs from 7 to 11:30. Colin Robertson, 680 News.
Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll check in with Carl Garnish at the 680 Business Center.
680 News Time, 5:55.
At Rogers, get business-grade internet solutions like Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit plus Office 365. Now just $119.99 a month on a 3-year term. Visit Rogers.com/internet for biz.
You can make
Imperial Difference Carpet and Home Closeout collections and designs. Up to 80% off. Pay no tax. Art for your floor from their looms to your rooms. New merchandise every month at unbeatable prices. Shop the one and only Imperial Difference Carpet and Home, the largest rug manufacturer's gallery in the world. Make the trip to save thousands. One location only, 1177 Caledonia Road west of Dufferin, north of Lawrence. Go to imperialcarpetandhome.com.
At Rogers, get business-grade internet solutions like Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit plus Office 365. Now just $119.99 a month on a 3-year term. Visit rogers.com/internet-for-biz.
You can make more.
6 City News Time, 5:56.
Time now for the business report. Here's Carl Garnish.
Laura, a number of jobs could be on the chopping block at Canada's largest railway. According to reports, CN Rail is looking to cut a number of jobs, and some of those numbers actually look to be above 1,000, apparently as it deals with a weakening North American economy. The cuts are expected to affect possibly managers, office employees, and unionized rail workers in a range of positions across CN's network in both Canada and the U.S. CN at the close on day was up 0.3% to $123.94, while shares of rival CP Rail rose 1% at the close, $319.91. Big moves for North American markets, soaring to new heights. All 4 benchmarks locking in record closing highs. Investors cheering a rebound for U.S. retail sales in October, as well as reports that we're not that far off from a U.S.-China trade deal. The TSX and Dow leveling up of sorts today, climbing above the 17,000 mark for the first time ever. The TSX rose 56 points to 17,028, locking an 11-day rally as well. As for the Dow, it rose 222 points, 28,004. It's above the 28,000 mark for the first time ever. We have Nike in focus as the company wants everyday heroes to start their day on the right foot. USA Today reporting that the sports apparel giant unveiled its Nike Air Zoom Pulse sneaker designed for the medical profession, and that includes nurses, doctors, and home health providers expected to benefit from this shoe. The Pulse, which comes with a full rubber outsole, a flexible drop-in midsole, as well as a secure heel fit, is expected to come out next month. Nike at the close today up 1.9%, $93.04. S&P added 23 points to 3,120. The Nasdaq gained 61 points to 8,540. Gold and oil moved in opposite directions, but both are slightly higher for the week. We saw gold drop $4.90, finishing at $1,468. A number of analysts still optimistic we're going to see the precious metal rise back to the $1,500 mark, but it is lower for the first time in 3 days. As for oil, it rose 1.7%, closing at $57.72 a barrel. And the loonie moved with oil today, Canadian dollar higher by 16/100ths of a cent, closing at 75.63 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnish.
This to 680 News. GO trains are holding along the Lakeshore West Line after a train hit a car in Mississauga. It happened at Lorne Park and Birchview Drive, just east of Clarkson GO Station. No word on any injuries at this time. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story.
No, I knew. I had to get online because I knew Friday.
Featuring all makes and sizes that fit your lifestyle and budget. Friday at noon is salvage, non-runners, and small equipment. Then Saturday, up to 600 vehicles, plus municipal equipment and recreational vehicles. Every car, pickup, van, and SUV now comes with a 30-day warranty. 5 cash draws for $100 at 9 a.m. and $1,000 draw at the end of the auction. For lowest of excitement, visit NorthTorontoAuction.com. That's NorthTorontoAuction.com.
What's better than a win-win? Easy. A safe situation at Tasco Appliances. For a limited time, all Tasco Energy Saver appliances are up to 25% off. So you save on price and save on energy costs with hundreds of appliances, like the Liebherr BioFresh refrigerator. Energy savings rebate funded by the Government of Canada. At Tasco. Visit TascoAppliance.ca for details.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for KidneyCar.ca. Your old car can help support life-changing medical research. Don't let it sit in your driveway forever. Your car has a higher calling. Donate at KidneyCar.ca.
In Guelph, it's cloudy and 1 degree, overcast and 2 in Brampton, Milton, cloudy and +1, and right now downtown, overcast and 3 degrees. This is CFTR 680 News at 6 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are James Monroe and Laura Carney.
Good evening. It's Friday, November 15th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
We have breaking news from North York. Fire has broken out in several units in an apartment building near Jane and Steele. 680 News is on the way.
Police have charged a man after the vandalism at the Old City Hall cenotaph.
They hear the "you people" phrase and they get their back up.
In an online video, the suspect links his frustrations to Don Cherry.
The woman who tossed a chair off a Toronto high-rise balcony sparking public outrage pleads guilty. The Crown is asking for jail time, but the defense thinks that's excessive.
Maple Leafs lose Alex Kerfoot for a while. Toronto will host Boston tonight. Miles Garrett receiving a hefty suspension. Sports at 15.
Twitter's political ad ban comes with some exceptions. North American markets finished the week at record highs. The Dow rose 222 points. TSX up by 56. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 6:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Barrie Airborne Chopper 680. Here's Kyle.
An update on this fire on Gosford Boulevard. We are flying over it now. It looks to be affecting the 7th and 8th floors of this apartment building. And
yeah, 2 floors.
Reportedly 3
Pay up,
units
motherfuckers.
are fully engulfed in flame, large flame shooting up from the side of this building, and we have a pile of emergency crews on
Shooting
scene.
out,
I don't
eh?
believe they've been able to get to the units yet to begin to put things out. We've been here for about 25 minutes, and so far the size of this fire is just growing. Now, if you are in the area of Gosford Boulevard, which is just southwest of Jane and Shoreham, near Jane and Steeles, you want to make sure you give any emergency crews heading towards the scene extra space, and it looks like Gosford Boulevard in this area is totally blocked right now by fire crews. Having a look at the 401, if you're traveling it right now, just a lot of volume. The only problem we have is a reported eastbound 401 issue east of Town Line Road as you leave Cambridge. We have a lane blocked with a collision here. It's jammed up from the Hess Square. Outside of that, just typical volume noise across the city. From the 680 Traffic Center, Christine Langos.
And with problems on the southbound 400 approaching Finch, a collision in the left lane jamming things up from Highway 7. Toronto-bound QEW approaching Casablanca. Center lane is blocked with a crash. It's slow from approaching Christie. And don't forget the construction they've set up. Toronto-bound QEW approaching Centennial Parkway in the 2 left lanes. Very heavy from approaching 50 to that point. This month at Mercedes-Benz Barrie, they're covering the first 3 lease payments OAC on all their most popular models. It's the winter sales event. For details, visit mbbarrie.com. Your next report at 6:11. And now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Oh, a really cold night tonight. We're going to feel like minus 18 with the wind chill. The winds have shifted now to the northwest, and we'll start to really feel these temperatures fall as we move through the rest of this evening. For tomorrow, there's a chance of flurries, and we're still struggling to get to even the freezing mark. Highs tomorrow only near minus 3. The average is plus 7. It's 2 degrees right now at Pearson Airport under mostly cloudy skies. Your overnight low, minus 11.
680 News Time, 6:03.
With breaking news from North York, fire crews are battling a 3-alarm fire in an apartment building near Jane and Steeles. Toronto Fire says flames broke out on the 9th floor of the building at Gosford Boulevard, just north of Shoreham Drive.
There are multiple units on scene. There are also reports of at least 1 person trapped. Stay with 680 News. We do have a reporter on the way to the scene, and we'll bring you the latest as it develops.
680 News Time, 6:04. 33-year-old Toronto man is out on bail after being charged with vandalizing a monument to the city's war dead at Old City Hall. He says he was motivated to do it because of the firing of Don Cherry. Here's 680 Stuart McGinn.
33-year-old Thomas Christian Zog is facing 2 counts of mischief in relation to the spray-painted words, "Ye broke faith with us," discovered on the cenotaph at Old City Hall this week. And today, we're learning more about the man's apparent agenda. In a statement and 2 videos posted to his Facebook page, Zog focuses on his frustration towards the firing of Don Cherry.
A lot of people have misconstrued what Don Cherry was trying to say because they don't seem to understand English.
Zog says people took Cherry's words out of context, adding in a written statement, quote, "Hypersensitive adult children are ruining our society, and that's why I spray painted the cenotaph." The 33-year-old appeared in court for a bail hearing today. He said he wants to represent himself. He was released on $750 bail and is required to be assessed by a doctor. I'm Stuart McGinn.
680 News Time, 6:04. Breaking news from Mississauga, where GO trains are holding along the Lakeshore West Line after a train hit a car east of Clarkson GO Station. It happened at Lorne Park and Birchview Drive. No word on injuries at this time. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story.
680 News Time, 6:05. Condo development sites can be a nuisance for drivers, but they can also be dangerous for pedestrians. Today, the city says it's launching a pilot project at Yonge and Eglinton meant to help keep things moving and make the roads safer. Here's 680's Mark Douglas.
One person at City Hall will coordinate almost every aspect of every construction project around Yonge and Eglinton. That includes the coming and going of heavy trucks. The idea behind this one-year project is to make things safer, mainly for pedestrians. Mayor John Tory says he'll be the first to admit sometimes politicians and public servants have to learn from tragedy.
Just 2 months ago, 54-year-old Evangeline LaRosa was fatally struck by a cement truck driver while crossing the road not too far from here.
People here in the neighborhood like the idea of this construction hub coordination pilot, but there is some skepticism.
Yes, the need is there, but there's just so much construction going on. My first thought is, how will they pull that off?
The pilot project begins December 2nd at Yonge and Eglinton. I'm Mark Douglas.
This news segment brought to you by recycledbyelectronics.ca. It was a video that went viral internationally. Now, the woman who threw a chair off a downtown Toronto high-rise balcony has pleaded guilty to mischief endangering the public. 680's Momin Qureshi has more from the Old City Hall courthouse.
At her first court appearance earlier this year, Marcella Zoya could be seen smiling, seemingly enjoying the attention. Now she's standing in front of a judge pleading guilty to mischief endangering life, something her lawyer Gregory Leslie insists shows she's changed.
I think that this is the first step. This was a necessary step, her guilty plea, and this does show that she is remorseful for her actions.
Zoya didn't have anything to say as she left the courthouse with a group of friends hopping into a waiting white SUV. The Crown is asking for her to spend some time in prison, but Leslie says the very idea is giving his client anxiety.
I think that's excessive, very much so. We have to remember Marcella's 19 years of age. When you deal with somebody so young, in my opinion, they're not fully developed.
At Old City Hall, I'm Momin Qureshi.
680 News Time 6:07. It is case closed for the guy who made a crude comment on live TV against the wife of NBA superstar Steph Curry during the Raptors championship run in June. 680 Charlene Close tells us the mischief charge has been dropped.
Tristan Workington made vulgar comments about Ayesha Curry, the wife of Golden State basketball star Steph Curry, and there was no denying it since it happened during a live TV broadcast. Workington was being interviewed by a CP24 reporter June 2nd outside Scotiabank Arena, right after the Raptors lost Game 2 of the NBA Finals against Golden State. Workington, who has undergone counseling for sexual harassment, has agreed to a bond not to associate with Ayesha Curry or the reporter to whom he made the comments. His lawyer says Workington is also remorseful. I'm Charlene Close. For the second time this week, the city of Toronto is under an extreme cold alert. The alert triggers the opening of the city's warming centers. Overnight wind chill values expected to hit as low as -18. Meantime, the temperature is expected to warm up to 0 with a mainly sunny sky in time for the Santa Claus parade set to take over the downtown core on Sunday.
And the Prime Minister not getting love from the Greens when it comes to the upcoming throne speech, which will kickstart the new minority parliament on December 5th.
With 3 seats, the Greens don't hold the balance of power, but Elizabeth May says that won't stop them from opposing the Trudeau government's throne speech unless there are stricter targets for emission reductions.
Moral question. An imperative of our generation not to steal our children's future. I will not vote confidence in any government that is committed to continue to steal our children's future right in front of them.
May is happy the Liberals are promising net zero emissions by 2050, but says it doesn't go far enough. She received no commitments from the Prime Minister. While they do differ on the environment, May says her party can support actions on pharmacare and Indigenous rights. May is no longer the leader of the Greens, but she will be heading the party in the House of Commons. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Coming up in 30 seconds, latest problems on the streets, and we'll track gas.
680 News Time, 6:09.
They're going to fit the fire into that. I guarantee they're going to fit fire into that.
In your office, printers, servers, old monitors, and desktops. Recycle My Electronics has a dedicated and free pickup service for e-waste just for businesses. We certify destruction and provide a comprehensive tracking process so you can feel confident and secure while keeping sustainability front and center. Schedule a pickup today by calling 1-833-NO-E-WASTE. That's 1-833-NO-E-WASTE. Or visit recyclemyelectronics.ca. The future is in your hands. Don't let it go to waste. City streets southbound, Weston Road barely moving from Shepherd to south of 401 because of a collision. Major delays downtown Brampton. A portion of Main Street closed south of Queen for tonight's tree lighting ceremony. Now, 680 News gas price update. Info predicts the price will not change at midnight. Traffic and weather together next.
680 News Time, 6:10.
Did you know you can get a breakfast sandwich at Tim Hortons anytime, morning, noon, or night? And for a limited time, try the new smoked sausage breakfast sandwich made with juicy, delicious smoked sausage. Enjoy Tim Hortons breakfast anytime with our new smoked sausage breakfast sandwich. At participating restaurants, hours may vary.
What will your winter vacation sound like this year? Or wherever you're heading, be sure to pack CAA travel insurance. From helping you find the nearest hospital to paying emergency medical expenses up front, CAA travel insurance lets you travel worry-free. Plus, CAA members save 10%. So get a quote today before you hear this. CAA, making bad days good and good days better. Terms and conditions apply. CAA travel insurance is underwritten by Orion Travel Insurance Company.
Did you know you can get a breakfast sandwich at Tim Hortons anytime, morning, noon, or night? And for a limited time, try the new smoked sausage breakfast sandwich made with juicy, delicious smoked sausage. Enjoy Tim Hortons breakfast anytime with our new smoked sausage breakfast sandwich. At participating restaurants, hours may vary.
Continuing news time, 6:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by the Princess Margaret Home Lottery Airborne Chopper 680. Here's Kyle.
Still flying over this fire, James. It's on Gosford Boulevard, just southwest of Jane and Shoreham, which is near Jane and Steeles, and we have lots of emergency crews on scene of this fully engulfed apartment fire. It has spread to a couple of units here, but there's good news to report. It looks like fire crews are now at least on the same floor. I've been seeing firefighters on the balcony of the unit next to the fire, and they are shining a flashlight around. Now we're seeing the size of the fire start to shrink, so it looks like they're making some progress here. As far as road closures go, Gosford Boulevard is closed completely in this area. We do still have emergency crews heading towards the scene. You can see fire trucks coming down Jane now heading towards this area just south of Steeles. Again, make sure you give them space if you're in this area. We have two problems now on the 401. The westbound 401 seeing an issue at Redforth in the collectors. Left lane is blocked for the crash. Through here it is heavy from McCowan, alternately express and collectors to Dixon, then 410 express and collectors to west of Highway 25. East 401, we have a problem east of Town Line as you come out of Cambridge. Lane blocked with a collision, so it is jammed from the Hespeler. From the 680 Traffic Center, Christine Langos.
Still a flash on the southbound 400 approaching Finch. Left lane is blocked. It's slow from Highway 7, and you'll find delays on the southbound 404 Don Valley. Anywhere from Steeles to south of Lawrence, approaching Don Mills to Bayview Bloor, from Queen to the Gardner ramp, but that's easing in general. On the westbound Gardner Queen, leaving downtown, delays DVP to west of Strawn, Park Lawn out to west of Huron, Ontario, from Ford Drive to Trafalgar, and from approaching Appleby to the 403 ramp. As we also still have this construction set up on the Toronto-bound QEW, approaching Casablanca. Two left lanes blocked. It's jammed from approaching Christie, and you'll find it slow going on the eastbound QE Gardner, Winston, Churchill to Dixie, 427 to Cherry. The early bird deadline in the Princess Margaret Home Lottery is midnight tonight. Just 6 hours left to be in for the Muskoka Lakefront Cottage. Order now at princessmargaretlotto.com. Your next report is at 6:21, and now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Oh, cold night ahead. It's going to feel like a minus 18. We've seen a shift in wind direction from gusty west winds to the northwest, and this is what's helping to bring our temps down and filter in even colder air from the north, as if it could get any colder. It's been a stretch of below seasonal this month, and it continues. Highs only near -3 for Saturday, with the chance of flurries. Average this time of year is 7. Mostly cloudy and 2 degrees at Pearson Airport. Your overnight low -11.
680 news time, 6:13.
Now, Scotia iTrade Market Minute to the Business Center. Here's Carl.
James, record closing highs for both Bay and Wall Street, and a very special some sort of level up, if you'll call it, for the TSX and Dow today. The TSX locked in an 11-day rally, and it was up 56 points, 17,028. So that's the first time it's reached and finished above the 17,000 mark. And the same can be said about the Dow. It rose 222 points, 28,004, snapping and reaching that 28,000 mark for the first time today. We also saw the S&P add 23 points, NASDAQ gained 61. Today, we got U.S. retail sales data that showed a rebound and some U.S.-China trade optimism. As for gold, it dropped $4.90, finishing at $1,468. Oil rose 1.7%, closing at $57.72 a barrel. And the Canadian dollar is higher by 16/100ths of a cent, finishing at 75.63 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnash.
From the excitement of their first day to walking proudly across the graduation stage, school's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to better prepare kids for the future and the jobs of the future. So we're making updates with a focus on positive mental health, technology, skilled trades, and math, so our kids are prepared to succeed every step of the way. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Have you noticed your bank has made it almost impossible for you to get further
Shut up and
funds?
drink
I
your
mean,
tea.
it was okay last year, and yet this year it seems like the taps are turned off. So, if you've got your mind on something and just need the money to get it done, you can beat the bank. If you own your own home, you're already successful. And shouldn't that be enough? It is at Capital Direct. Call Capital Direct at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL and get access to your money. CapitalDirect.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. Cloudy skies in downtown Toronto, 2 degrees at Pearson. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm James Monroe.
And I'm Laura Carney. Here are the top stories this hour.
With breaking news from North York, fire crews battling a 3-alarm fire in an apartment building near Jane and Steeles. Flames breaking out in the building at 235 Gosford Boulevard, just north of Shoreham Drive in the last half hour or so. There are reports of at least one person possibly trapped. 680 News is on the way to the scene. And happening now, GO Train struck a car on the tracks east of Clarkson. Trains are holding west of Clarkson and east of Port Credit until further notice. No one was in the vehicle.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Alex 60.
James, the Maple Leafs down another body. Alex Kerfoot required surgery on some dental fractures, and he is out indefinitely, which means Jason Spezza takes his place on the third line tonight when the Leafs host the Bruins. That is at 7 o'clock. Freddie Anderson and Tuukka Rask in goal. To Soccer Canada in Orlando for tonight's CONCACAF Nations League game against the U.S. Head coach John Herdman making 2 changes from the side that beat the Americans last month. Daniel Henry and Lucas Cavallini coming in for Derek Cornelius and Kamal Miller. Kickoff at 7. Well, we've seen it on this road trip. Rondé Hollis Jefferson's got a motor and never quits on a play.
I just got that next play mentality defensively. So I'm just right back at him. When we score, he'll turn around and he'll see me right there. So they can look forward to that, every night.
And the Raptors expect OG Anunoby will play in Dallas tomorrow. And Myles Garrett done for the rest of the season. The Browns defensive end receiving an indefinite suspension after last night's helmet incident in Cleveland. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio, Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 6:17.
This holiday, what if giving also felt like getting? At Indigo, Chapters, and Kohl's, we have incredible gifts that inspire moments. Fabulous books, toys, home decor, and everything else you need to give more magic. Visit us in-store or at indigo.ca.
We love waking up early
Oaks
morning to unwrap our
Atlas from Brandgate Volkswagen.
We make
Oaks Fest.
cookies and
Oaks Fest.
carols, and we have a big
Atlas that seats 7.
so we have the family over for
Up to $4,000 in bonus cash.
or we'll take the kids to the mall
With the Atlas 4-motion all-wheel drive.
to sit on
Oaks Fest.
Claus's lap. Stupid.
Oaks Fest.
It's over.
December 2nd. Visit BrandgateBW.com for details.
Part of the Brandgate Automotive family.
This holiday, make shopping for the perfect gifts easy at indigo.ca. Simply shop online, then pick up in-store at any of our locations across the country. For stress-free shopping and sure to please presents, go to indigo.ca.
With breaking news from North York, fire crews continue to battle a 3-alarm fire that has engulfed multiple units at a building near Jane and Steeles, believed to be 235 Gosford Boulevard. 680's Kyle Hawking is flying over the scene and joins us live with what he sees from Chopper 680. Kyle.
Yeah, James, that section of Gosford Boulevard outside of this apartment building is closed, and what I can see right now, it's the northeast corner, 7th floor unit of this building that is completely engulfed. Now, it was engulfing the unit above it on the 8th floor. They look to have gotten that unit under control. I can see firefighters out on the balcony of the units next door to where this fire is. They're battling it right now, but there's still a sizable amount of work to go here. If you're traveling in this area near Jane and Steeles or Jane and Finch, make sure any emergency crews that you see in the area, give them lots of space. We've been here for about a half an hour, and they're still arriving. Emergency crews are on the scene. We've seen them cut both ways down Finch and down Steeles, and of course down Jane as well to get to this fire. Gosford Boulevard is closed outside of the building here, and we have still a sizable fire that's being put out by fire crews. So over the scene in Chopper 680, I'm Kyle Hawking.
So once again, fire crews battling a 3-alarm blaze that engulfed multiple units at a building near Jane and Steeles, 235 Gosford Boulevard, just north of Shoreham Drive. There are road closures in the area. 680 News is on the way. 680 News Time, 6:20.
Here's to spending holiday time with family and not letting financial stress get in the way. Here's to getting the loan you need and taking control of your finances.
At Easy Financial, we can help when banks aren't an option this holiday season with loans up to $35,000.